What is up, and welcome to Zelda Speedruns. Welcome to the Season 7 Showcase race. This is a race to showcase all the cool new settings and I guess changes in Season 7. Two champions racing against each other today, and here to tell you all about our Milkweed and Dog Heaps. Folks, how are you?
Hey, we're doing good, Tobias.
What's up, everyone? Oh, it's good to be back, isn't it?
It's so exciting to be watching this happen. There's been a lot of discussion about S7 over the last few weeks since the announcement came out, and it's really cool to be watching what the hell's happened versus Ryu, Season 4 versus Season 6 champions.
And we got so much to talk about when it comes to Season 7. And we'll slowly kind of introduce some of the changes. But I think the biggest thing to note is that this is the first time we're ever doing a draft-style tournament in the main standard ZSR tournament. So things are going to be very different than what you might have seen in the previous 6 seasons if you've only been watching the standard tournament.
Yeah, we're going to be bringing in a lot of settings that you don't really think about being in the main tournament. Today, we're going to be seeing 3 trials, which is exciting. Each runner is allowed to ban a setting. Currently, it is major settings only. I know there's still a little wiggle room. Maybe they'll be banning minors as well. But for picks here, we've got open fountain. So Rudo's letter does not exist.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Rudo's. You can just walk straight into fountain.
It's both child and adult, right?
As child and adult.
Beautiful. Free Scarecrow, honestly, one of my all-time favorite quality of life picks. It saves you having to route in child and adult. It doesn't come in super often, but those times where you're in fire or you're in Gerudo Fortress and God, you just really want Scarecrow's song, it's really nice to have Free Scarecrow. It's one less thing you need to route in.
Until your hook shot is just super late.
But I think one of my favorite settings that we're going to be seeing here is random warp songs. So we have 6 warp songs. We know we need at some point in time, assuming that we have to do Shadow Temple, we do need at least one song or one ability to get to the front of Shadow Temple. The rest of those songs could drop you anywhere in the world.
There is one exception to that. You are required to have a warp that goes to Bolero, the Bolero pad, because of the skull there as child. So those are the 2 required warps. The warps will tell you where they are going first. And I believe this includes owls, or is owls separate?
Owls are separate.
Owls are separate. So
yep.
It's just the songs.
Yep. And we'll be going into a deeper dive into what are all the different settings that are available, both major and minor. Look, we're gonna be here for a hot minuto, everyone. So while we are, with some downtime, maybe retreading some old ground, we'll be going over a little bit more into the actual nuts and bolts of Season 7 and getting y'all ready to go. The thing to note, though, if you are excited about Season 7 like we are, Season 7 officially kicks off with the qualifier on November 11th. So we're just not even a month and a half anymore. We're just less than a month and a half away from the kickoff of Season 7. So it's nipping right at the heels.
Yep. It's going to be a kind of a flurry here. We're about halfway through the league season currently. We still got a couple other tournaments kind of lingering around, wrapping up. The Francophone tourney is still going. SGL in person still has to happen. So if you are excited for more Ocarina of Time randomizer, there will be no shortage of it over the next, probably the rest of the year.
Yeah. No, and well into 2024 at this point. We're going to be seeing so much good gameplay. And again, checks and locations and items. Well, not items. Well, maybe wallet. Nobody uses a wallet.
No one needs wallets.
But we're going to be seeing things that hardly ever get used. And so it's going to be a real fun dive into the depths of Ocarina of Time.
Yep. And we are kicking off here. One of the changes, we do have vanilla adult and child spawns as the default.
Correct.
It is an option to change. That's one of the minor setting options.
Yep. And so...
Oh, path to tower, because we've got trials on.
Trials, baby.
And All right, Ocarina of Time is Storms. Oh, no. All right, buckle up, everyone. So, Forest Trial, you recently learned how to do the trials.
Oh, yeah. So trials, by and large, require a large number of items. Things like you'll need gold gauntlets if you want to beat Fire Trial.
Mhm.
You'll need long shot. Again, if you want to beat Fire Trial. Mirror Shield for Spirit Trial. You'll need a bottle for Ice for Water Trial. And so we'll be talking about some of these items as we figure out some of these trials. But there's also a lot of tricks to be able to skip a lot of different item requirements simply because trials, there's a lot of flexibility in how you can approach them.
Forest Trial in particular, one of the things you think of the Wolfos because that's where the check is. We actually need a fire source to get to the actual trial portion.
Yep. So there's 5 torches there you need to light. You can either do it with fire arrows or Din's fire. Both work. But you do need some form of fire source.
Just 3 trials. And we know Forest is one of them.
Yep.
Claim check is nothing, looks like. This is also a good way to highlight. We have some updated hint wording. So forgive us if we stumble over a couple of these. They're not very old, so we're adjusting too.
It's within the last week or so,
maybe a week and a half, yeah.
Because I saw claim and I was like, I'm pretty sure that's claim check. So I'm glad that Mel, you stepped in. I would have had to read that for a little bit longer.
Nehru's. All right. Well, we don't have any scrubs on another of the options.
Yep. I was about to say, it's one of those items that, now that I think about it, maybe there are a few more items than I gave credit that we're actually going to see this season. Nehru's is one of them because it can be your logical access to the Goron City scrubs. Again, scrubs that we never usually see in a typical Zooter match. But that can be required in order that and Hookshot as your logical access to those scrubs.
So another change here, 40 and 50 are actually hinted here in Skull House, giving some extra room for hints elsewhere. 30 remains on a Gossip Stone.
Correct.
40 and 50 are dead, and we have a Mirror Shield.
Yeah, so you're never going to be angry finding a Mirror Shield. I'm always of the impression that if you have the money and you're walking by a purchasable shield, you should probably buy that shield.
Yeah.
As somebody who is, recently had to do Forest Temple and Shadow Temple without a shield, you just end up sinking more time than you should.
Do not recommend.
Oh, absolutely not. So getting a Mirror Shield early, it doesn't allow you can't reflect the bullets from the scrubs, but beyond that, it functions just the same as a Hylian shield and does everything that you need to do it.
Yep. And really, the being shot at by a scrub doesn't matter so much until another major setting option, Dungeon Entrance Randomizer.
Oh,
you
baby.
might be doing Deku as adult.
Yeah, it's true. One of the things as well that I want to mention, you'll see some of these runners maybe picking up some small chests. So the default setting for Season 7 is that chest appearance matches contents, meaning both the size and the texture will tell you what is inside that chest, whether it be an important or major item, or whether it be something of a heart piece, heart container, or something that is just a typical refill. One item, though, that remains in those small chests is bomb chews. Mm-hmm. And if you've played any Ocarina of Time randomizer, you know that early explosives can make a world of difference in your routing and can save several minutes over the course of the game. And so you may see some of these runners picking up some of these small chests, looking for those early explosives in the form of bomb chews.
Yep. And that's actually one of the other minor setting options is putting bomb chews in logic, which will put them into big chests.
Correct. And it makes a really cute bomb chew bag. It's so cute.
Picture the bomb bag, but with a chew face on it. It's fabulous.
Yep. Also means that you can pick up bomb chews within cut grass. Just like you would a bomb refill, You can do bomb chews that way.
Yep. And welcome in, Raiders. I also saw someone gifted some subs. Thank you, everyone. I'm hoping the hype train actually is reflective of the hype we're feeling for S7.
Mm-hmm. One thing that I will mention about these two runners, by the way, is that What the Hells is playing on Wii Virtual Console.
Yes.
And Ryu is playing on emulator. And you'll notice just right there alone, they both went into the loading zone at the exact same time. But what the hells started moving, or basically loaded in before Ryu. And that's because Virtual Console actually has faster loading times when it comes from scene to scene than emulator does. And gives you just a little bit of advantage, collective advantage, over the course of a scene.
Yep. The disadvantage being save quitting, very slow compared to emulators. It all evens out in about the end, at the end.
Yep. So happy. These runners are happy to see Prelude. Because especially for what the hells, Prelude means that he doesn't need to save quit as often.
Yep.
And that will save him time being able to Prelude.
Yep. Ryu setting up a little death warp here, not wanting to walk back through.
As you can see, basically the exact same time.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Zeph making a good point here. We actually don't know where Prelude goes. Because we have random warps on
Oh, Nikes! I forgot already. Yep. So these runners will absolutely want to play Prelude.
Yep.
Now, whether they remember this setting is on or not, they're going to be playing Prelude after this. They may or may not be surprised at where it takes them.
Yep, and it will tell them where it's going. They don't have to, like, just go. But we'll get a look here. Prelude is taking a... Ooh, Desert Colossus. That is another song.
All right. I'm here for this. You may see these runners go and peek the right hand of Desert Colossus. You can't see if it's a small chest, but you can definitely see if it's a big chest. It did not look big. However, I have been known to misspeak that on several occurrences.
Requiem out here. Let's see where that takes us.
I think that was just a repeat of the Force Trial.
Yep.
All right.
Is this even randomized?
Everyone, get your bets in of where we're going on that Requiem. I think we're going to Hyrule Field.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Lake.
Lake? I think Lake could be nice.
Yeah, that's definitely something of interest up on the arch, I think. Saw Bo. Someone in chat said Bo. Ooh, Crater. So I mentioned this earlier. You are guaranteed a warp to Crater. But this is a nice song chain we're getting.
Yeah, this is lovely.
And Saria's.
Oh,
I can't wait for Cack Path to Phantom Ganon for Saria's at the end of all of this.
That's less fun. And again, this is where you're going to see Ryu. Look, already caught up several seconds behind What the Hells in the save. But as you can see, What the Hells is getting through the menu faster simply because he's playing on emulator.
Yep.
So,
all right, we're getting our med check here. Dodongos, Spirit Temple, Fire, Shadow, Forest. Okay, so this is nice. Having both Shadow and Spirit be along the way, you're way more likely to have all of the items that you need no matter which trials are on at the end.
Was Spirit one of them?
One of the dungeons?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought so.
I didn't. Maybe.
Did I hallucinate?
Maybe I hallucinated. I thought Spirit wasn't one of them.
Oh, maybe I can't read.
Because that's what I was about to say, is that with Spirit being a stone, that actually makes it... Oh, no, I am just crazy. All right.
So water, that long shot and gold kind of become the real random.
Not terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not terrible, but they're the question marks as far as which trials we're going to have to get through.
So, yeah, because what I was about to say was Strength 3 can be can bite you.
Yep.
For Fire Trial, especially if Strength 2 isn't required.
Yep.
It can be really tough trying to find two separate strengths and not just one.
Yep. And we did have a Path to Tower hinted. It was GTG, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So GTG being hinted, good chance that could be golds, honestly. But we still only know Forest Trial, and we know that we will receive the items along the way to do that.
Mm-hmm. So just a reminder, if you're coming in here, so Season 7, again, draft settings, And so both of these runners, before the siege started, had banned a setting. Both of these runners chose from a list of major settings. Both of these runners chose from a list of minor settings. Our major setting changes are that 3 trials are on, as well as open fountain. And the 2 minor settings that were chosen were free scarecrow song and random song warps.
Yep. And chat getting a little into the technical. Ooh, a scale.
Mm-hmm.
Great pickup there with that Sun Song, honestly, because that means a lot more movement is available for Hells.
Yep. Yeah, and I think this is what you were getting at in saying that the way that hints are prioritized is it prioritizes beating or getting the bridge spawned before it prioritizes getting a trial completed. And so whatever item is being hinted for a trial means that it's not required for any of the medallion dungeons to spawn the bridge. Zephyr, I think, typed that out very nicely in chat, just kind of saying it out loud in case you aren't reading chat, that there is a priority, a tier list in how it chooses path hints, and it's something to be aware of when you're starting to put together the logic of, wait, why is it telling me that I need to go to X place for a trial when I have bridge? Oh, that place probably has an item that I won't need for any of the medallions.
Yep. And it's still hard to say, knowing that Storms is on Ocarina of Time, like, that doesn't give us a lot of super useful information as to whether or not it's going to end up being AD. We just know that we can beat our normal dungeons without whatever is behind Storms.
Yeah. And I think it was said best that most likely that item is going to be light arrows, because we know that every trial requires light arrows to beat. And so it is one of the items that is required for trials that is not required for medallion. Now, I will say, things get a little wonky when trials are on and you have this setting of open bridge turned on.
Yep.
Because the priority list goes spawn the bridge, beat the trials.
No.
Get its Bosky?
Bosky is actually equivalent to bridge.
Oh, is it?
Yep, we all learned it wrong. We dug into the code. There's been a lot of learning, honestly, this last year with how hints work.
See, I'm glad I'm saying this out loud, because I wouldn't even known it.
So you would think that boss key would be behind trials, because that's what is Mido doing? Magic, okay.
Put a pause, put a pin in it. Hammer,
nice.
Strength. All right.
Dang. Choose?
Imagine if it was choose.
If that had been choose, the most goated Midos.
Anyway, what were you saying about Bosky?
Yeah, so Bosky is actually behind bridge and before trials.
Interesting.
Yep, as far as the hint prioritization.
Oh,
in this case,
even though you need to beat the trials to use the Bosky?
To use the Bosky.
Fascinating.
Yep. And that's interesting. I don't know how it was decided that, but it's very useful for us because the condition options for both bridge and Bosky are the same. It's going to be those 6 medallions. So in this, it being equivalent and them being functionally on the same priority level, then very helpful.
So, absolutely. I think if there's one person / commentator who has proven time and time again that they understand the hints and hint logic, Mel is that person. All throughout some other tournaments that have been happening that have had a little bit different of settings, time and again has proven that she understands even far better than most of us runners what these settings are. So I am constantly learning from her, and I'm glad that she's on comms today, because she will help us navigate the web that is the logic in these settings. What I can say, at least, is that playing Sunsong here is really nice because it saves you the walking distance back to Mido's. So oftentimes from Mido's house, or from Link's house, you'll actually do this chest first, the sword chest first, and then Mido's house second, because that places you closer to Lost Woods. However, they switched the order because they knew they had Sunsong, and so it was actually faster to do Mido's first. do the sword chest second, and then Sun Song to Maido's house, and then go to Lost Woods from there. So
Yep.
a nice little quality of life timing thing that you should think about is if you have Sun Song, how can I use Sun Song in an area where time of day doesn't change to be able to help me with my movement?
Mm-hmm. So aside from Maido, we haven't gotten a whole lot to use here.
No, Mirror Shield doesn't really do us a whole lot. We got some nice warp songs, but nothing that we can really do with them yet. I mean, it puts us in Fire Temple, which we have Hammer and Strength, so we could do that.
I would say it's very likely that a hookshot exists in Fire with what's available right now. Ooh, a bow.
Yeah.
Well, if that was a bow on the arch out in Colossus, we are not concerned about that anymore.
Here's the fascinating thing. With Bowhammer Strength,
Fire's basically... we need an explosive potentially, but fire doesn't have to be bomb locked, even though we usually think about it being bomb locked.
Yep, really only 2 checks that are actually hard bomb locked. That being in the main courtyard on the right-hand side, and then getting to the hammer chest beyond the flare dancer, are the 2 checks that are really actually hammer locked or bomb locked. Everything else can be done without bombs. And in fact, the game can expect you sometimes to beat Volvagia without bombs, because your first set of explosives can actually be on Volvagia.
Yep.
Which I've had happen before, and I hate it. I hate it.
First bombs on Volvagia is kind of like first bow on Bongo. It's the kind of thing that can happen, and it bums you out when it does.
I had to learn Bomb Chew strats into Shadow Temple live on a race once because Bo was on Bongo and I only had hookshot and no idea where longshot was, and I was like, I'm not leaving Shadow Temple and coming back. I will figure this out. So I'm on the boat going youtube.com Bomb Chew strat Shadow Temple. No, not that video. No, not that one. Learn it on the fly.
What your FBI person must think.
Oh, God.
I totally missed what that hint was, but I did see Big Poser dead. Market, Path to Phantom Ganon, and Spirit Trial is on. All right.
Okay.
Well, that's nice.
Spirit has one of the lowest item requirements.
Yeah.
You can beat Spirit. Technically, you don't even need a hookshot to beat Spirit Temple. Hold up. How did... Wait, Serenade?
Serenade?
I swear I looked away for 10 seconds.
Ryu does not have scale. Why are we in River?
I see him falling, and I was like, what?
See, this is what I'm most excited about in S7, is just constantly having my mind blown by what the seed has decided to do with the drafted settings.
Can't look away for 10 seconds.
I will say the people who are going to suffer probably most during S7 are our lovely trackers, because it is going to be a very different game from what we usually do behind the scenes pushing the buttons. So shout outs to Baseball and Cassinja, our trackers today.
I both love and hate this for What the Hells. What the Hells is doing objectively is the right play.
Yes.
Using the scale to go to Zora's River.
However,
it's the actual slower play, because he's going to play Serenade, come back here, and be like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, though, it's going to be nice for him if he plays it, say, at the bottom of River. You can get warped right back to the top.
Yeah. The time that I've had that happen where I was just livid is... very often when child spawn is random, you'll go to Lon Lon Ranch, get to the back of Lon Lon Ranch, and then save quit.
Yep.
And you save quit to the front of Lon Lon Ranch, and you go, I could have saved how much time by just checking my spawn and finding out that it was in Lon Lon Ranch? What is happening? And then, you have those times where you're like, I'll check it first. And it drops you in Gerudo Valley, and you're just like, well, or I shouldn't have. This was a bad idea.
Yep, or maybe not. Maybe we don't. All right. Nothing on torches here in Domain.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see either runner staying child much longer.
Not with hammer.
Not with a hammer available.
I think what the hells might do for his route is river to domain to lake to owl.
Yep.
Because the one thing that these runners don't have is good access back to Temple of Time.
Yep.
We don't have a song. Our save warp is in Kokiri.
And honestly, functionally, Serenade with that scale almost works the way it would normally.
Yep.
It'll drop you in river. Oh, choose.
Bomb choose.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
let's see.
Yep. And again, talking earlier about picking up small chests, this is why.
Is that Shadow Path to Tower?
Was it? Shadow Path the Tower. Interesting. Now, Mel, talk me through. Because we still have 5 path hints, correct?
Yeah, so...
Or do more path hints get turned on?
Yeah, so we still get the 5.
Okay. So if we're seeing paths to things that are not medallion dungeons, then...
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean that they're so step me through then how that prioritizes.
Yeah, so what it does is it guarantees one from each of the categories that it needs. So in this case, it's going, all right, we have a bridge condition and a tower condition. So you're guaranteed at least one from each of those.
Mm-hmm.
And then what it does is basically 50-50s between them. But because one of the lists is going to be longer, it's not actually 50-50. You're much more likely to get, say, paths to your bridge. It's interesting in this case that we have 2 paths to tower when we have so many items already required for our bridge condition.
Gotcha.
So this is probably hinting us to... Let's see. What
Long
are the...
shot could be...
Yep. Do we know
Strength
all of
3
ours?
could be...
Do we know all of the trials? We have Spirit,
Spirit
Forest.
and Forest.
So it must be either fire or light.
It's gotta be.
It's gotta be fire, probably.
Probably fire.
So fire trial is going to require both strength 3 and long shot, which are not needed for any of our medallions. It also is going to require lights, which is usually what your tower hint is going to be. It's just interesting that we've gotten the second one, honestly.
Yeah. And if I understand correctly, all the items that are hinted as tower items cannot be items that are required to beat a medallion dungeon.
Yes, exactly.
So I guess, I think a lot of questions that a lot of people might be having then is, I have 2 strengths to beat Spirit.
Yep.
I need a 3rd strength to beat Fire Trial.
Yes.
If all 3 strengths are kind of available, can they be hinted?
They can be hinted path to tower, is what happens. Because if all 3 strengths are available, no strengths are path to bridge for Spirit. Because none of them are strength locked.
But all 3 of them
But all 3 are required for fire.
Got it. So that might broaden out the pool then of trial items. Trial items that might be hinted.
Yep.
So, but like, for example, Mirror Shield.
Yep.
We have Spirit Trial on, which requires Mirror Shield.
Yep.
We also have Spirit Temple that also requires Mirror Shield.
Yes.
So that will never be a
That would never be a trial hint. Yep.
Today's logic is brought to you by Milkweed.
We're trying. And here is that dip into lake that you were anticipating. Chews were in the Torch Run chest, actually. And Hells must have opted not to pick those up. Oh.
Oh, he... Now that I think about it, he was heading down and he actually died.
Yeah.
When he hit the bottom. That's not to say that is a critical mistake, because they do have hammer. But that could be rough. So for example, Ryu in this position with strength and bomb juice could go ahead and beat Dodongo's Cavern top to bottom. What the hells can only get to lighting the eyes, and it looks like the fish decided to waddle away.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Fortunately, he's got enough money to do it again.
Let's
Look at this lovely, like, foggy lake.
This is nice. So you'll notice What the Hells is waiting a little bit for time of day. If you catch it right before time of day change, the fish becomes incredibly erratic and very skittish.
Yeah, it's very weird.
It's very weird.
Like spawning time or something.
Yep, and so you actually don't want to catch it right at time of day change.
Yep.
So waiting just a little bit to get a more consistent fish.
Yep.
If you've already missed it once, it's not gonna cost you too much.
Yep. So I sort of mentioned this earlier. I'm actually really concerned about storms being on Ocarina of Time at this point, honestly, because of that second Path to Tower hint. Because even though we know that there can be plenty of other hintable items, I feel like something is behind storms now. Because none of that would be required.
So if I understand you correctly, let's say light arrows are in bottom of the well.
Mm-hmm.
That automatically makes things like iron boots or boomerang or kokiri sword items that could be part of the trials items.
Yep.
So you're right. You just brought in the pool of potential things that it could choose as a path item.
Yep. None of that's going to be confirmed for a long time, obviously, but and Ranch hinted too.
What did Ranch give us?
Path to Tower.
No. Ranch's Tower?
Ranch is also Path to Tower.
What was in Ranch?
Ranch gave us a song. Song of Time.
Jesus Christ. I'm like, look.
We know GTG is Path to Tower as well, so that Song of Time is probably...
I'll tell you, I use a tracker for a particular reason, and it's because that tracker, you are marking every single check, but then when, 20 minutes later, when you've forgotten what you got in La La Ranch, you can go back and look and see, what did I get in La La Ranch? Because my poor ADHD brain cannot remember all 150, 200 checks and where I got, when and why and how. So I just use a tracker that remembers.
Yep. Yeah, and it can be pretty brutal.
Londa Tower.
Yep.
Oh.
Deku Tree is foolish. Thanks, game.
Cool. This is bananas. So, seeing a little bit here from Ryu, checking out now, crater through trail, getting some of these peaks here.
Mm-hmm. Interestingly, neither of them opted to go into Fountain to do the ferry there. Obviously, Hells couldn't do it because he didn't get those shoes, but Ryu didn't.
Yeah.
Jabu is available because they have a bottle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that was a Big Goron hint right below Big Goron, as is tradition.
Yep. And with Ryu Ryu was going to be serenading out anyway from Zora's domain.
Mm-hmm.
Could have quickly peaked Fountain.
Yep.
Absolutely. So, but I'm sure we'll be going back, whether it be, as adult,
Mm-hmm.
or, should they go to Jabu for whatever godforsaken reason.
Yeah. Yeah. It becomes very interesting the second you find something that's kind of unequivocally hinting Stone Dungeons. If you do find Kokiri Sword, like Matt mentioned, if you find Boomerang,
yeah,
you're going.
You're done. It's AD. Yep, it's all dungeons. And I think something very clever that Ryu did is not having hookshot or hover boots, but knowing that he had a spawn in Death Mountain Crater, opted to plant the beam there.
Yep.
Giving him better movement access. So you'll see Ryu is able to go straight to where the money is, i.e. Goron City, Death Mountain Crater, Death Mountain Trail. What the hell is electing to go through field into CAC and then up, which does give him shooting minigame. However, a little bit more efficient on Ryu's side.
I can almost guarantee we see Frog Warp. All right, so Gerudo Valley Hammer Rock's chest is dead, I believe.
No, you can't just say Frog Warp.
Frog Warp.
Tell us more about this thing that you call Frog Warp.
I don't know that makes sense anymore, seeing like where Ryu and Hells are. So Frog Warp, when you have the eyeball frog, you can begin the like trade sequence. If you go talk to the scientist?
Is
that
the lab dive dude?
The lab dive dude. If you go talk to him, bomb bag.
Yep.
All right, that's going to be great for Hells. Little bit of an advantage killer for RyuuKane. Was that Fountain is foolish?
We'll say yes.
Oh, domain.
A domain.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Even though it was very nice. I mean, again, Ryu didn't benefit a ton from those bomb chews because of how early that bomb bag was. And the fact that they got hammer, which meant that they could still do explosive checks.
Yep.
If that bomb bag had been a little bit worse, Ryu would have gotten a much larger advantage from getting those bomb chews.
Ooh. Hell's dipping into DC first. Like, it's not losing time or anything. He can go up to the vanilla bomb bag chest. There could be a bomb bag in here.
The amount of times that DC has explosives in it is shockingly high.
Yep. And Hyrule Castle, that's all of our foolishes. Domain, Hyrule Castle, and Deku Tree.
Yep.
And Deku Tree is an unfortunate hint because at this point we don't need to do Deku Tree, so it's not really saving time until we do find a Kokiri sword in a Path to Tower location.
Like in Shadow Temple.
Like, if that's in Shadow Temple, you're going, oh.
Yeah, if you find a Path Kokiri sword at any time, it is automatically all dungeons.
Yep. Jabu, a little less clear. So if you find a boomerang, meh.
Ryu going for the bomb two strats here. Just going to go ahead and take care of the eyes now. Not have to worry about it later on with bomb bag.
Yep.
It's not a bad idea.
Oh, river, not domain. Okay, thank you. So King Zora potentially still alive and well.
But does not surprise me that these runners are opting to come through here and just make quick work of DC. It's required. It's a medallion. You can make very quick work of it.
Yep. I also think that just mentally, the sooner you complete a dungeon, the better you feel about how you've routed until that point.
Yeah.
Because if you're getting into your first dungeon after the 1 hour mark, you're like, oh, it just feels like a slog.
Well, and you know, there are a lot of locations that may end up being required, but there are only 5 locations that are absolutely required, 5 to 6, and those are your medallion dungeons. And so if you know that there is a place that is 100% required, and you are choosing to do a place that is potentially required, at best, you might gain a little bit of advantage, but at worst, you are opting to choose locations that are just suboptimal.
Yep.
And so, very common to see runners quickly and aggressively pushing medallion dungeons because those are the locations that will always be required in every seed.
Yep. All right, we're gonna push the button.
So, and again, we're talking here about the exposition match between What the Hells and Ryu in preparation of Season 7. If you are new to Ocarina of Time Randomizer, welcome. 2 of the best runners, arguably in the world, when it comes to Ocarina of Time Randomizer. The Season 4 champion in the form of What the Hells versus the Season 6 champion in the form of RyuuKane. And so if you have any questions while this race is going on, please feel free to ask us. Our whole job here today is to help you better understand what you are seeing on screen, so that way you can enjoy it, both here as well as stepping into the chaos and brilliance that is the upcoming season 7.
Yeah. I think one of the most interesting things about this upcoming season is, of course, no two seeds are the same anyway. That's just not how it works in Rando. But really, no two seeds are going to be the same. So qualifiers will work a little differently than what you're seeing here. In this case, both runners had the choices, what they were banning and what they were picking. Quals, that's all up to RandoBot.
Yep.
RandoBot's going to randomly select one major and one minor setting. Again, those quals begin in November. But then we go into top 64 group stage, which will be interesting. Round robin, I believe. Everyone will play each other. And then from there, we'll get to a top 32 bracket. There won't be a lower bracket this year because it's all going to be best of 3.
Yeah. And so it will end up making for more matches overall, which honestly, not a bad thing. I'm all about watching more Ocarina of Time Randomizer.
Yep.
And it will also allow for maybe some interesting strategies when you're looking at the second and the third matches.
Yep.
Of these players playing against each other of, I picked these settings or my opponent picked these settings. How can I then, choose X setting or Y setting to maybe offset what advantage or disadvantage I might have had in the last game.
Yep. And I think one of the really nice things is both players get to pick their bans. So if there's something that they really don't want to play, they're never going to have to play that because they get to ban it first.
Yeah, and it's interesting, I've been talking to different runners who are, classically or have been previously in the top 64 or in the main tournament. And it's interesting to hear people's picks because everyone has a little bit different, opinion on what they want as their ban.
Right, and a different, skill set. For example, Heaps, permaban Overworld Skulls. And I'm like, give me Overworld Skulls over Interior ER
could not
any day.
pay me to do a race with Overworld Skulls. I no. Overworld Skulls, objectively my least favorite.
All of chat now knows that I'm apparently a masochist.
Yeah, here. And, every setting has their advantages and disadvantages. Some people are good at doing things like time of day routing, can see things like what items do I need for these skulls or what tricks do I need for these skulls. For me, not my fave. And so knowing that about myself, that is my setting that I would rather do entrance shuffle. Maybe I'd also ban, turning off chest appearance matches contents, but that's me as well. So,
ooh, what's a skull? Purple, please. Okay. Well, for anyone who's not familiar, the gold skulltulas, like what Hells is collecting right here, is what we're referring to. You have a couple of options. The default is that there are no items on them, but there are 2 other options. You can either turn dungeon skulls on, so all of the skulls that you would usually collect and find within your dungeons can have items on them, and their tokens are shuffled into the item pool as well. The other option is overworld, so that's the rest of the skulls. And it's very difficult to figure out how you want to route that, how you want to prioritize that. It changes the value of some of the items that you usually are not thinking of. Like Slingshot suddenly becomes an amazing item to find early because you can peek most of the child skulls with that Slingshot.
Yeah, Bottle's the same way. So it'll be interesting to see what settings people like and what settings people don't like, and what they like to play with and what they choose to turn off or choose to ignore. So,
hey, be nice to Momo.
Yeah. So Ryu, almost certainly. Well, no, I lied. I was gonna say he's gonna go to fire, but
yeah, I'm surprised that Ryu's not going to fire. It's most likely beatable currently.
Goron tunic, bombs, bow, a hammer. Yeah.
The only thing you're missing is a hook shot.
With a warp song that gets you to its entrance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see if Hells makes a different call here. Maybe Ryu is thinking, okay, I can do Bunch of Bowling now. I can do Child Spirit.
And Market was Path. So it's not a play that I disagree with. I think if I was in their shoes, I would probably prioritize the Medallion Dungeon.
Yeah.
First. That said, these are the Season 4 and Season 6 Grand Champions.
Yep. Nope, they have plans. They know what they're doing. They're adapting to everything in a different way than we are because we have the added benefit of knowing, all right, where are both runners?
I hate that. So far in Market, we found a slingshot and a scale. I don't like this. I don't like this.
So, Deku Tree requires a slingshot to beat. Most runners don't actually need it. But
wait, it requires a slingshot?
Yep,
Since
exactly.
when?
Hopefully that's for target in the
whole bottle.
I mean, you don't need.
Yeah,
Well,
you
you
could.
have Epona. You might need that. Yeah.
You could.
Yep.
Oh, Big Post hinted dead. Never mind.
Oh yeah, that's right. Big Pose hinted.
Thank
And
you,
Ryu
chat,
remembering that.
for remembering things that my idiot commentary brain doesn't remember.
Yes, so you don't actually use the slingshot most of the time, but it is logically required to complete Deku Tree.
I think he's
Child Spirit, also a good shout.
Yep, chasing that slingshot there. Don't disagree with this.
Oh, I love that spawn.
But
Ryu's going to be doing Target in the Woods first, and then probably Child Spirit. And then we will probably have the good or the bad news.
Interesting. So what the hell's same thing? Electing not to do Fire Temple. Again, maybe not a decision that I would make with Goron Tunic, Bomb Bag Hammer, Bow. The only thing that you can't do is Scarecrow Song.
Yeah, that's one of those hard calls because, okay, maybe you can't do this, but maybe you can.
Yeah. So, and Fire is not a particularly...
Oh, no.
Fire is not a particularly item-dense location. It oftentimes... it only has 6 actual checks in Fire Temple. After you take out all the keys.
One of the options, well, technically 2 of the options, you can turn on Keysy, which removes all of the small keys and the boss keys from dungeons, instantly making them more valuable.
Yep.
Or Key Rings, which is all of the small keys and boss keys on a ring for each dungeon. So once you find them, you're guaranteed to be able to complete the dungeons.
Which is the fascinating part, because if you look at Fire Temple has 8 small keys and a boss key.
Yep.
That's 9 additional checks in Fire Temple, just automatically.
Yep.
GTG goes from 12 checks to 21 checks. Water Temple goes from 4 checks to 11.
Yep.
And so some of these dungeons gain incredible value by turning off small keys and boss key.
Yep. And I saw some questions. Yes, each runner gets to do 1 ban, and then they get to pick 1 major and 1 minor setting. It's a snake picking option. So the higher seeded runner is going to be able to select if they want to go first or second. Both runners will pick their bans, and then they move on. All right, the first pick is going to pick their major. Second pick does their major. And then that second pick gets to do their minor first.
Yep. All right.
Ryu grabbing those ice arrows. Blue fire arrows are one of the minor options. They did not select that here, so picking those is interesting, but sometimes, you know, you don't want to deal with any of the spiky boys when you're going up the water boss ramp.
I'm sorry, what was that one more time?
Spiky boys.
Spiky boys.
Spiky boys.
All right.
What are those called?
I mean, Spiky Boys, B-O-I-S?
B-O-I-S.
Spiky Boys. You can ice arrows those?
You can ice them and freeze them, yeah.
What? Why?
Keeps learning it so they don't move.
But you can just go up.
You can just go up.
You can just go up.
But what if you're bad?
Well,
What if, like me,
I can't help you with that.
you
now.
just want to shoot them so they don't move when you accidentally roll when you don't have hover boots on?
That's, which, by the way, if you are ever struggling with that, without hover boots, you actually just walk up the left side.
Yep.
The timing works out perfectly.
Yep.
It's really nice. It's very beginner friendly. There are some other strategies that you can do with some like side hopping and back walking that is faster. However, if you're just like, I need to beat Water Temple, I do not have hovers and I don't know how to get up here any other way efficiently, go through the door, walk to the left-hand side, and just start walking up, and it works every time.
Yep.
It's really nice. All right, so we're going up in Spirit. Yeah. Relatively close race, I think, at least for all intents and purposes. I mean, Ryu's done a little bit more of Lost Woods, the target minigame, did Child Goron City.
Yep.
And I think that's the only difference.
But I think that Hell's ended up doing all of the overworld, like the crater and trail loop.
I love that strat from Ryu. The bomb tree
strat.
The
bomb tree. You target not the one you want to explode, the other one, and drop it. It's so clean.
It's just, it's hot. It's gorge.
I do enjoy that. I do not enjoy when I accidentally kill the chew that you're supposed to target, or the skull that you're supposed to target.
I keep telling myself I'm going to learn that
trick. It's always
a
bummer.
But I don't. But one day, this grandpa will actually...
it's so easy.
I'm sure it
is.
I
am telling you that. You know that it's...
but I'm old and I'm tired.
He's old, he's tired, doesn't want to learn new things.
I don't want to learn new things. That sounds hard.
If you've got chews to spare, might as well go for it, yeah. Everyone taking notes, figuring out what kind of optimizations they should be looking at going into this next season.
Yeah, and it's, if there's one thing that I could, preach about Ocarina of Time Randomizer, there's a lot of things that you can practice. Practicing dungeon execution will improve your placement by leaps and bounds.
Yep.
Because every seed you have to do dungeons.
Yep.
And so being able to do dungeons quickly, being able to do them efficiently will always improve your placements. Yep. Now, you might still rando into a bad placement. Not going to say that you're going to start winning every race.
No.
But you will certainly find that you will be finishing seeds faster and more efficiently if all you do is just practice.
Yep. All right, Hell's going to Zora River. Going to be doing, at minimum, target in the woods. Child Spirit here has yielded a lot of small keys.
Yeah.
So that slingshot could very easily be for this.
I got a little distracted as people in chat were
getting snarky.
Getting snarky, and I appreciate the snarkiness. And people saying, well, not every setting you have to do dungeons. That's true.
Not every setting.
Pretty sure the settings that I will be playing will require dungeons.
Yes. All right. I think that the item on top of the arch was actually a bloopy all along because it looked like it was some Deku seeds there.
Yeah, so really, what is in market? It could be Gold Scale. I don't think we've seen Lab Dive. I don't think we've seen Tektite Grotto.
Nope, we haven't seen Lab Dive or Tektite Grotto. Again, spirits required, so it could be that.
Could be the Slingshot.
The Slingshot for those keys.
Yeah. Assuming that Boomerang isn't easily accessible.
Yeah.
This Boomerang would kind of break that chain.
Yep. The second we see Boomerang not sling locked now, that's when we panic.
Well, and there was no, at least in this moment, we didn't get an item out of Child Spirit.
Nope.
So unless there's
Just
something
keys.
in Deep Adult Spirit that could change our mind, I'm a little bit hesitant
that Storms
to say
sketch.
that Slingshot is for Spirit Temple.
Yep.
Because the odds of there just being another Slingshot or Boomerang that is on an independent branching path.
Yep. And we do still have Lens minigame left. It's not hinted as far as I recall, so we just need to find that lens and we'll be able to do it. Ryu appears to be going to Fountain now.
There is one...
Or this is a fast way to Lake.
It's fast way to
That's
Lake.
probably it.
Yep.
We talked about that a little bit. Our Serenade takes us to the top of River, so with that scale, it's actually functionally a shortcut still.
Yeah. Do this on your way to going back adult. Ryu is, but for all intents and purposes, fairly exhausted. The child segment that's available to him. I think the one thing that if you're in Ryu's shoes that you have to check at this point is fishing or diving minigame.
Yep.
I think you have to check at this point with possible scale path. I think, and also being in lake.
Yes.
Being able to do that as a child, I think you have to check it.
Yep. Yeah, and it's their best way. And I mean, having explosives, it's almost worth just doing your field cleanup in South Field.
Like a field into valley type route.
Yeah.
It would be incredibly thorough.
It's very thorough. I just think right now they're clearly not inclined to go into fire at this moment. Like,
yeah. Because they really haven't gotten any more items to push them into fire. They had if they wanted to do fire, they had everything that they needed and elected not to. So I agree with you.
Yep.
That was a conscious choice on their end to just say, screw fire. I will do that later.
Yep.
So, all right. What's in Lab Dive? And if it's not here,
cry.
You're really starting to run thin on what that market could imply. Honestly.
Yeah. How's going back into River?
All right. Well, there it is. Okay.
Well, it's not that, right?
It's fine.
It's fine.
Everything's fine. And we were getting inklings towards that.
I feel like I spoke this into existence the second I started talking about path prioritization, and I feel bad about it.
I think it was a realization that the item pool to trials was just far larger than we were initially expecting.
Yeah.
And with a large item pool like that, there had to be some component of additional dungeons plus trials. So, what that's, if I was Ryu then, I have Kokiri Sword.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I do, and I agree with this play here. You don't do Deku in this moment.
No. Deku is foolish. You're going to wait until you're guaranteed Dins.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Get Dins first. Save yourself time.
Yep. So market is path to Phantom Ganon. So we have a couple of options here. We had a strength that was free. We had a bow that was free. We had access to Sarias. So it's got to lead to our hookshot somehow. but
Can't because of Water Temple.
because of Water Temple.
Wait, so Market was path to...
Phantom Cannon.
Oh, I thought it was a trial.
No.
Oh, this gets... We already have Saria's.
Yep. So it's got to be our hook shot.
What the hell?
But we haven't, again, we
Nope,
haven't
hovers.
seen...
Could be hovers. If Forest Temple is hovers locked.
That always throws me off because we have the strength, and I'm always just like, but we have a strength to do this. That doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I'm just sometimes... Yeah.
Yep. In the very rare circumstance that there is only one small key available before you get to Dead Hand, or the
Floor Master.
Master. Thank you. I said Dead Hand, and I was like, nope, that's Shadow.
It's kind of a dead hand. It would make more sense.
Literally is a dead hand.
It is a dead hand.
Yeah.
yeah.
If you get to that point.
Yep. Because the expected way to get there is going through the loop up.
Which requires 2 small keys.
Yep. And
But
so if that's your key, it doesn't matter if you have a strength to go up or not.
Yep. It can require that you use hover boots.
It's gross.
It's disgusting. And I just saw a seed, 2-3 weeks ago that required that?
Oh, is that it? Are we saved?
Thank God.
We're saved!
Hookshot?
And that's the kind of thing where it is hard to keep track of some of these things when you are racing.
Yep.
Pushing that gold scale is a great idea.
And now you go straight to fire.
Yep. Meanwhile, Ryu is reversing Haunted Wasteland. Gonna go do hookshotless GTG, probably.
Yeah.
Would make sense. It is path. We'll get an idea. All right. What am I getting here? Unless it's behind strength 2.
Yeah, and again, I think if I were in their shoes, I think I would have pushed fire a little bit earlier.
Yeah. And we'll see. I mean, maybe waiting for the hookshot is the right call because Hells is going to be able to go do forest now as well.
Yep.
Can do fire, can do forest. Depending on what you find along the way, you might be able to do spirit, for example, because most of forest is strength locked.
And knowing my luck, this would absolutely be a hookshot.
Hookshot, yeah.
Forest.
But
Or fire. Absolutely.
Bosky
100%.
just chilling on Pierre.
Yep. But yeah, what the hell is this going to be able to do? Yeah, 1, 2, 3 dungeons, right quick. Sorry, I already did DC. Already did DC.
Yeah.
1,
Yep.
2, 3, right quick.
Okay. Yep.
Is how I saw it in my head.
Quick.
Right quick. Not related to an Australian blue dog, for in case anyone was wondering.
In case anyone has small kids and are looking for some quality children's entertainment.
Quality. And or an adult with no small kids.
Or just an adult who needs a little 7-minute break and wants to watch some Australian dogs be cute.
Pretty amazing.
It's called Bluey. It's great.
Great. We're not sponsored by Bluey, but you know,
That would be so good though.
we support it. We made it 59 minutes before we got off topic.
Yay!
All right. All right.
Well, it's boring now. They're in dungeons. No. We're close enough to the 1 hour mark that I am just going to start kicking that off because by the time we're done, it will be 1 hour.
Hell yeah.
So happy 1 hour, everyone. Give our runners a follow. If someone could put the R command in chat, I would appreciate it. We're a little far away from the laptop keyboard. What the hell's happened? Our season 4 champion, RyuuKane, our season 6 champion, being amazing sports and showing off what season 7 has in store for us. Give them a follow. Our amazing trackers, Kasindra and Baseball.
Whoop, whoop.
And thank you, Baseball, for putting the commands in there. They are pushing all of the buttons so we know what items the runners have, what dungeons they've completed. Tobias is our restreamer today, filling in all of the information as we get it. So when we forget things like Deku Tree is foolish,
As we always do.
it'll be in a command for you. And Heaps, I'm so excited.
Hey.
If you can't tell, we're in the same room. hanging out. It's been a blast, and it's always fun when we get to do comms while we're together.
Yeah.
And there's silvers.
Strength 2. Hell yeah. So it's always one of those where you want to go to GGG with the items to complete GGG.
Yep.
And also, if you have all the items that you need to complete GGG, you're probably not looking for a whole lot of items.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always a gamble of when do I go to GGG if I want to go to GGG? Do I go early with fairly limited items and try to see if I can fish out something from GGG?
All right. So there's our path to tower. That is our Song of Time from Lon Lon Ranch confirmed. Our Gerudo Training Ground confirmed.
Yep. Now, there is one thing that makes this very interesting. We don't have Eponas.
Nope.
We don't have Longshot.
Nope.
So, until we find those two things, who knows how deep in the seed GGG actually is. Like, is that strength 2? Is that strength 3?
Mm-hmm.
You know? Are we going to find anything else in here? Like, does the seed expect you to be a lot deeper in the seed before coming here or not? So, like, for example, if Epona's is on Burning Cack, which I don't think we've seen yet.
Nope.
Then that's strength 3 right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it just kind of depends. Neither runner has gone into ice, even though it's been in Logic basically since the beginning. I don't quite remember how early we got our first bottle, but it is open fountain as a reminder, so we're not finding a letter today because it doesn't exist. They started with ZL, and they had a bottle really early, so opting not to do that, they might just be gambling. Oh, my horse is in ice.
Yeah. In which case, all of this is free and available.
Yep, which I think, honestly, is kind of a fair assumption. It's not as good of information as, is this long shot locked or not? I think that's important.
Yeah, I think this is a really interesting question here, and I don't fully know the way that the logic is written.
Mm-hmm.
But Forest Trial,
yes,
does it specifically call for fire arrows, or does the logic read fire arrows or Din's fire?
Yeah, it's either.
It does read as either?
Yep.
Okay. Tobias!
Drop in subs. Let's go.
10 gift subs. Thank you so much, Tobias. Again, we are here kicking off Season 7. I hope y'all are so excited for this. It's, every year I think the team does an excellent job in saying, how can we take the good from the last season and push what we can do with Ocarina of Time Randomizer.
Yep, and really try to shake it up.
Yep, and I think this is a good highlight of, what are things that we haven't seen in Standard while still being able to, fit within a traditional Ocarina of Time Randomizer race.
Yep. Yeah, this will be interesting. Ryu fortunately has bombs, so he can ground jump up here. There are a couple of ways. You're intended to use a hook shot, but you can do a ground jump like Ryu just did, or if you have hover boots, you can hover off the chest. So, honestly, coming here, this was the only room, really.
The one that What the House is doing?
No, the one that Ryu is doing.
Oh.
This was the only room that he knew he was going to have no real read on, because you can kind of guess whether or not the Silver Rupee room, otherwise lovingly known as the toilet, whether or not that's going to be a key or an item. But finding those silvers is really nice.
Yeah. And what you can't see is Ryu's tracker actually has all of the spirit keys marked out. So something that is, I don't want to say new, but has recently been, more widespread implemented is having, when you pick up a key, having that display on the actual GGG key.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that wasn't more contentious, honestly. Like, key counting is important. It's an important skill, and here it's been added that it's kind of handing it to you. Ooh, okay, a fire source.
Yep. However, for Ryu, as somebody who's not picking up keys, that key count will be inaccurate.
Yep.
And so he's having to manually go through and count, how many keys have I actually picked up?
Yep.
And what does that imply when it comes to, is that last item in that silver rupee, in the silver rupee room with the water, aka toilet, is that a key or an item?
Yep. And there was nothing up on Pierre, so you would not have been punished for coming here without a hook shot.
For the first time ever.
Because, of course, you're not playing, so that's how it would work.
I have a history of wanting to do fire without a bow. Being like, it's one check! What are the odds? It's like 100%.
Yeah.
That chest has a small key 100% of the time that you go in without a bow.
Yep. And that doesn't necessarily always matter, but what he's implying is you need that key.
What I'm implying is it always matters when I don't have a bow.
Yes, exactly. All right. So Ryu looks to be peeking our valley checks here. Hammer rocks were hinted, so we're just going to be using those chews very wisely.
Yeah, nice use of that last chew there.
The last chew.
Yeah. Not, if a setup works, it works. Don't question it. Not the setup that I use, but again, if it works, it works, Don't question what works. Here's Bloopy.
Okay. I was like, pretty sure it was nothing,
yeah.
But
I'm of the, you go to the pole, you do the 2 side hops, you do the 2 backflips.
All right, and here is Boss Key. Interesting.
Yeah.
What was Skull Mask?
I don't remember what Skull Mask was. So, Cassandra, okay. I've already forgotten what my sentence was. If it works, it works, it works. All right. If it works, it works. A lot of works, yeah. Nice little jump here from Ryu. Skipping straight up. Save yourself some time.
Yep, and Hell's saving some time here. Hitting the block down.
Yeah.
Nice.
Not one you get to see or use very often.
Yep. It is faster if you're already up there.
Yeah.
Just to hit it and go down.
And then the jump slash of shame there.
Yep. Never a good feel.
I'm a proud member of that.
Yep.
Of that organization.
The attempt, the strong attempt to make the jump slash, and then, you know what, suddenly you're in lava.
Hey, it saves you a half a second if you get it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And costs you like 5 if you miss.
No big deal. No big deal.
So, we're going to be seeing what the hell's beating Volvagia here.
Yes.
Almost certainly going straight to Forest afterwards.
Yep. We'll just be headed straight there. We'll see him go for a quick strat. So if you don't watch a lot of randomizer, this is what you will see in like speed runs and things. Manipulating the fact that Volvagia actually has 2 hitboxes. This hitbox that exists where she is flying down right now. You drop a bomb there, go stun lock with the hammer at the other hitbox. And this is going to take 6 bombs. The cycle is 1, 3, 3. 7.
Take 7 bombs.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And which is funny because you said 1, 3, 3, and I'm like
1, 3, 3.
Yeah, I know it's up to 6, right?
6 left is probably what I was thinking.
Round
he dropped 1.
round to the nearest 6.
He had already dropped 1, so 6 additional bombs. I made it work.
Yeah,
but it's 7 total.
There you go.
And clean.
Barely had time to
explain it.
Joke about that.
Yeah, just gone.
I'm just going to use non-PG-13 language, but
it's fine. This is ZSR.
Yeah.
I mean, it is daylight ZSR. But
it is daylight. Just wait until after hours.
ZSR after hours. Come back after sunset, folks. We drop all the F-bombs.
Fun.
Friends. Family.
Fuck. Oh. Well, friends, it was nice doing comms.
This was a great final attempt for us. We'll never be welcome back.
I was about to say before I get kicked out by Trez. What will get me kicked out by Trez, though, is saying it is, in fact, Trez's birthday today.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that. Yeah, everyone go wish Trez a happy birthday.
So, just whatever you got, drop emotes, drop...
Blame Trez's everywhere.
Whatever you have, just spam happy birthday to Trez.
Yep. Gift subs to ZSR are basically a gift sub to Trez too, because he makes sure all of this keeps running, pays for the servers with that.
Yep. ZSR would not have existed without Trez. So we give him grief, and also it's from a place of love.
Yes.
And
love and hate. They're very close. No.
My family says the same thing, but...
Oh, no. I don't think that's going to be fulfilled, but we'll see. Zephyr summoning Trez with that 50,000 channel points.
Oh, baby.
If he does pop in, I think we can sing happy birthday now.
I think we can.
We can. It's in the public domain.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It's free.
How long ago? That was recent,
a couple years ago, yeah.
I know there was a lot of grief about whether or not it was actually going to make it into the public domain.
Yep. What trials are on? We know Forest and Spirit. I don't think we've seen the third yet.
We haven't seen the third yet. We have some inklings that it's going to be a high item trial. So we think that it's going to be something like...
We think it's Fire.
Fire. Yep, Fire or Light.
Yep. We are saying that because we actually ended up with quite a few Path to Tower hints. We have resolved 2 of them already.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of annoying, honestly, that both Song of Time and Light Arrows are 2 of those.
Yep. What I was going to say as well is that we don't have access yet to Shadow Temple.
Yo, Trez!
Trez made it?
Let's go! Happy birthday!
Hey, happy birthday, Trez! Woo!
Thank you all so much.
I'm
I'm
driving you
driving.
down.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Hold on.
Don't say anything yet.
Don't say anything.
Hold on.
Why not?
It's over here.
Okay.
All right, you're good. What?
Sorry. Some of the technical difficulties of being in the same room, our volume had to be low, so we weren't getting a lot of feedback. But happy birthday,
okay.
Welcome in.
Thank you
I
all
don't
so
know
much.
if you've been able to see any of this so far, but it's been a great showcase so far.
I'm driving, so I couldn't. So what are the settings?
Yeah, so the settings that we have on today, we have the major settings are 3 trials and open fountain, and our minor settings are free scarecrow and random warp songs.
Oh my god, that's awful.
That's awful.
yeah.
I think the worst part about it so far is 3 Path to Tower hints.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not great.
Yeah, well, sucks to be them, I guess. So
So
I mean, they agreed to this,
They
so this is
agreed to
on
this.
them.
yeah.
Did you have a nice birthday? Do anything fun?
Well, I just had the most wonderful sushi, so I'm happy
Ooh.
right now.
Oh,
Yes.
baby.
I bounced around the
Um,
idea of us getting sushi today, but instead we're gonna go be degenerates and drink beer at a hockey game.
Yeah.
That sounds fun as well. I'm gonna join you. I'm gonna come for the hockey
Oh,
game.
Oh,
All right.
yeah, baby.
are you talking about SGL hockey game?
Let's do the SGL hockey game.
Hell
Let's
yeah.
go. We're getting Trez drunk at a hockey game, folks.
Oh my
You heard it here on ZSR, folks. Trez is like, I did not sign up for
Trez
that.
is like, oh no, what have I come into?
You gotta talk this through with Crystal. Crystal might get mad.
Well, would you like us to sing happy birthday to you, or just read off some of chat's well wishes?
Go ahead. like whatever you prefer. I have some time on my hands, so.
Hell yeah!
Okay.
I think we gotta honor the public domain, right?
Yeah, the public domain. Happy birthday! It's the American Happy Birthday song. We do have a couple other people that are going to join us. They've been very quiet in the back of the room this whole time.
They've been so patient that way. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tresco. Happy birthday to you.
And many more. All right.
On CSR4.
How many of you are there?
There's 4 of us.
There's 4 of us.
That's pretty amazing.
Mel and I live a few hours apart from each other.
Yep.
So I had the weekend free and decided to get together, and there were actually some other members of the community that live in a similar area. So we're like, you know what? Sure. Let's do some comms and have some fun.
Yep. So we did just find a slingshot in the Vanilla Bosky chest in Spirit, which is going to be sling locked at this point. Because that is 5 key locked, and we had 1 behind slingshot. That can all change if we find boomerang.
But I believe that we found hovers that were 4 key locked, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I think there were.
I'm gonna let you focus on the race again. Thank you all so
All right,
much.
well,
I know. Now that we're talking business.
Sorry.
Boo.
Thanks for joining us, Trez. Looking forward to seeing you at SGL.
Yeah, looking forward to that too. Thank you all so much, and enjoy S7 showcasing and like.
Hey,
happy birthday.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that was fun.
That was great. How many people are there?
We're just a bunch of loud Midwesterners, okay? That's how it works.
Excuse you, I'm from Utah.
Oh,
Speak for yourself.
You're Midwesterner this weekend.
I am this weekend. It reminds me of the old SpongeBob episode where Patrick goes to his house. And he's like, "Who are you people?
Who are you people?" All right. Well, thanks for the summon. I hope that was worth your points. Looks like you think it was. Looks like chat enjoyed our terrible singing, if you can call it that. I've never really considered the happy birthday song singing, personally, because I think everyone's just having a time with it.
I think the first stanza, I don't know, whatever the first happy birthday to you is,
Yeah.
it's just everyone agreeing on a key.
Yeah, yeah.
You just gotta agree on a key first, and then happy birthday, then the song starts.
Yep.
So that's just the prelude.
Yep. So Ryu also found fire arrows. Can someone remind me where those were? Were those also behind all of the fire locks?
No, it was in GTG.
It was in GTG. Okay.
GTG.
So I was like, if those were in Spirit, that's something else that we need to keep in mind, that Dins is probably blocking those fire arrows, but that's not the case.
You know, the rough thing in Ryu's part is that Ryu found something that was scale locked.
Yep.
Like, if he had just not found anything that was scale locked, things would have been fine. Oh, gorgeous. Yes.
Ryu's showing off all the tech here. You don't usually get to see this.
Oh. So
sweet.
Yeah, if and when Overworld Skulls is on, not in my races, but in somebody else's race,
you might want to know that.
You might want to know how to do that trick. Again, will not be on mine.
All right, Ryu playing Requiem, which I think took us to Crater. Yeah.
Yep, and this is the fire play.
Yep.
So again, Medallion Dungeon, not a bad play.
Yep, and he's going to be able to do this, actually. We saw that there was no key on Pierre, so you're able to get through this.
Yep.
And here is a big chest in Forest, though.
Go long shot yourself, Forest. Look, I'm trying to keep it PG-13 most of the time.
But why? It's an 18-plus channel.
Yeah, but there could be chillins watching.
Go watch Bluey instead,
I'm
children. Just go.
I'm technically a child doctor, like
Technically a child doctor.
Even-
It's not something I ever want to hear a child doctor say. That's like when we give
I don't know if
shit about
everyone
being a
knows.
pilot.
I don't know if everyone knows what a pediatrician is. So, yeah. Well,
Oof.
Brutal.
All right, so we found a hook-locked hook. All right.
I don't know if what the hell is going to have any arrows by the time he's done with this.
Aw. This man goes through so many arrows. It gives me so much anxiety.
He burns through arrows like he's made of money. Like,
Yeah. And fortunately, like, there are a bunch of arrows in forests specifically. But yeah, I mean, I watch both of these runners a lot, and as much swag as Ryu gives you, that's how much anxiety Hells gives you with the way he aims, quote unquote, at things.
You'll see it when we get to Spirit Temple or Shadow Temple in the Invisible Blade Room.
Yes.
Oh. I think I've seen him go through at least 30 arrows in that one room alone.
Yeah. I've watched him almost empty a seed bag doing Target in the Woods.
It's shoot first, aim later.
It is phenomenal. This man, our season 4 champion, so amazing at this game, but there are still some things where it's just like, it gives me hope. I can be good too, because I can't aim.
And then we'll get like, a 1970 on horseback archery. So like, if he wants to
aim,
he can. He just elects not to.
He's just like, he's got so many other things. All of the runners have so many other things that are way more important than aiming.
Then yeah.
They're running through, okay, what am I doing next? How do I go about doing that? Yeah. And so aiming is so low on the priority list that you forget you need to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think something to say is that Mel and I for sure are very good friends with both of these runners. What the hell's in Ryu? In fact, Ryu is one of my very first followers on Twitch.
Aww.
Yeah.
He gifted me my first sub to you.
Did he really?
He did.
And so, we say all of this from a place of love. Like
yeah, absolutely.
We love these runners. And more specifically, I think something that you'll realize if you're either new to the community or, have been here for a while is that I think, and it speaks to the fact that, Mel and I are sitting in the same room. Like, Ocarina of Time Randomizer it's a community.
Yeah.
And it builds friendships and it builds relationships. And so, we give these runners shit because we love and appreciate them. And so I think, there's definitely a community here that is really nice. And just like any community and any family, sometimes we bitch a little bit.
Sometimes we'll get sassy about the settings race mods have picked for the next tournament, but here we are, so excited to watch it. Sometimes. Come on, champ. Don't put us on blast like that.
Yeah.
But it's true. Like, and if you are newer and you want to learn how to play, do it. Join the Discord. Everyone is so willing to help out and help you improve.
Yep. I think before I get distracted with a tangent, settings today are major settings are 3 trials and open fountain. Minor settings are free scarecrow and random warp songs.
Yep. So we keep that standard 6 medallion bridge condition. That's about it.
Yep. What I was going to say is that in my current league group is a runner named Drunis. And literally the day before our match, we were in a voice call together and he was teaching me how to do trials.
Yep.
And then the next day we had a league match where we were playing against each other. Like that is the community.
Yep.
Is, hey, I need some help with X skill. And people are like, yeah, no worries. Like, let's get together on a Saturday. Let's talk through how to do this. Like, don't even worry about it. So, same thing applies if you are like, how do I do, how do I do this trick in Fire Temple or in Water Temple, or how do I get this skull that I've never had to think about before? The community is here to help. It's what we do best. And bitch. We also bitch. We do that best too. So, what the hells? We're in an interesting spot here for what the hells, because he is just about to finish Forest Temple, and after he's done with Forest, he really doesn't have a good medallion dungeon to do afterwards. He's got Mirror Shield and access to Requiem, but no Strength 2. He doesn't have access to Shadow Temple as far as we know. The song that he may have gotten in the form of Nocturne at Sacred Forest Meadow may be his access to Shadow Temple, but we don't have that yet. And certainly don't have Dins or Hovers. So, more than likely, he's going to have to now start thinking, what are my next plays? Chat pointing out, though, and I think that is probably the best choice at this point, is following up on that GGG path. So, almost certainly he'll reverse. He may also play Nocturne sometime here soon, just to see where it's gonna go. Because if Nocturne is not, he may also consider going Ice Cavern to try to dig out a song there and see if he can get some advantage that way. And apologies, that was the world's loudest motorcycle. And exactly, here's what the hell's checking out what's on Nocturne. Warp to Graveyard, perfect. It's exactly what you want to see. And that was, I believe that was the Song in the Village. So it used to be labeled under Burning Kakariko. And again, we mentioned this a little bit earlier. There is a process of rewording the hints to be a little bit more clear in their language. That said, I am not used to them yet, so apologies if I'm a little bit slow in reading them. But it looks like Epona's is behind Spirit and Epona's is behind Shadow Temple. So, as far as we know with regards to those strengths, it is most likely the long shot to get strength 2 for Spirit Temple to then go and get your Epona's there. So, as expected, what the hell's reversing here? Ryu really gonna start missing out on this hook shot. He's now, so he'll be fine here, but he won't be able to go to Forest Temple after this. So that's one less medallion dungeon that he can do, and that's the long shot that he'll be missing out on. As well as he wasn't able to finish Spirit Temple. And so he's gonna start losing time here as he is continually missing this hook shot. And it's probably weighing on his mind of there must be a hook shot here somewhere because I need hook shot. It's got to show up.
I'm back.
Her beverage was a little empty.
I don't know if the mic picks that up. Probably not.
Oh, I'm sure it did. My mic picks up everything you don't want it to hear. Right.
It did. Great. All right, what have I missed?
Just beating Forest.
Nice.
We do have access to Graveyard. Nocturne was vanilla.
Good.
So that was nice.
I'm glad. I think one of the interesting things about that, we've been kind of hyping up the things that you have to have access to. Mm-hmm. One of the other major setting options, you can turn on required only. And then you're not guaranteed those locations.
That's true. I think now might be as good a time as ever before we get totally distracted. Mythic, thank you so much for the subscription, by the way.
33 months?
Hell yeah. Oh, 43. I was like, am I dyslexic? I saw 34. Yeah, it's because both numbers are there.
Oh, they are.
That's amazing. All right. So these runners are basically going to be doing GTG and finishing up fire.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go through some of these settings for y'all. So we have in two separate categories, major settings and minor settings.
Yep.
So major settings, there is a default setting that is set for the base. So whether or not you choose that setting, there is a certain way that it's set. So for example, Zora's Fountain is defaulted to closed, and they elected to have it be open for both ages. So lots of different settings. Some examples of these settings so that way you know what to look forward to. So for major settings, the Rainbow Bridge can be set to open. And so that way you have to, or Ganon's Castle is just wide open and all the checks are wide open from the very first moment you boot up the game.
Yeah, and that one's really interesting because deciding when exactly you want to go to Ganon's is very important.
Yeah.
Because your first bomb bag or hookshot can easily be there. There are, I think it's 4 instantly available checks when you go in there, unless scrubs are on, in which case you have an additional 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 4.
Yep. Depending on how comfortable you are with certain tricks, like there is a way to do Spirit Trial without a hookshot. That gives you another one.
Yep. And then, of course, the very first Shadow Trial check has 8 different ways that you can get to it.
So
it's
many.
Ludicrous. You can even get there with Song of Time.
Yep.
It's bonkers.
Yep. There's a Song of Time block. You can hovers to it. You can hookshot to it.
So some other ones that are fairly tame, and then we'll get to some of the wild ones. Kokiri Forest is closed Deku, but you can have open forest.
Yep.
Some of the other ones are like you can shuffle grottos, you can shuffle tokens, both overworld and dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
You can shuffle the scrubs and turn them on. You can turn on the cows. You can turn on the shops. So those are some. And then, of course, as we mentioned about trials, and then Mal, you had mentioned about all locations reachable versus just beatable only or just required locations being available.
Yep.
And now we're going to get to some of the fun ones that I think really shift up the game here. I think one is the keys, right?
Yes. Keys, we talked about this a little bit before, just how different they happen to make your dungeon plays go. So you can turn off keys entirely. So it'd be keysy is how that's referred to. So that's small keys and boss keys all taken out of the game. Or key rings. And those can be anywhere that you have turned on. So like if you have cows on and key rings on, you could find a key ring on a cow and suddenly Epona's is required.
Yep. I think one of the other ones that is interesting, actually there's quite a few interesting ones, but indoor entrance randomizer.
Yes.
So we're talking about things like anything with a door, all the fairy fountains.
Yep.
That includes things like
Temple of Time.
Temple of Time. That includes things like Windmill. All of them are shuffled, which makes for some wild things. And even I think one of my favorites is that the potion shop has 2 different entrances. There's a front entrance and a back entrance.
Yep.
And it can be kind of a loop or passageway.
Yep.
To get from one location to another. So that's a fun one. And then I think one of the other ones that's kind of wild is Open Door of Time. So we normally take this for granted. Door of Time is always open.
Yeah.
What happens when you close it?
So when you close Door of Time, it just depends, honestly. It's very interesting. If we do have a 50-50 basically starting age, you can select one of those as a minor setting. Sorry, spoilers. So one of the interesting things that happens is it adds an additional level of path hints, specifically. So if you start as child, you are going to get a Path of Time hint. And what that refers to is the way you are able to open the Door of Time.
Yeah.
Song of Time is what you are looking for in that case. Songs are not shuffled any more than they usually are. It's songs on song locations, so that's not a big deal. But when you throw it in with, say, in RyuuKane, if you start as child, you can still get a Path of Time hint. And Ryu, this is what I love about watching Ryu. Ryu's not going to waste time farming bombs. Just going to go buy them.
Just go buy them.
I have the money.
Yep. So those are some, pretty much the vast majority of the major settings. Then we flip to minor settings, and minor settings are more of quality of life, I would say.
Yeah, that's how I've found myself describing them.
Versus like actually like altering win cons or altering major locations or major item pools.
Yeah, some of them more than others. So we have songs today, random warps. That can affect how you play the game. You usually, are just adapting once for each of those, but it does change the intended playthrough.
Yeah, Scarecrow being another one.
Some items are, I would say pre-planted beans is the other one that I would describe as not necessarily quality of life, but has implications
Absolutely, especially if overworld skulls are on.
Yep.
Shudder. Bomb chews are in logic, meaning that you will find, instead of a pack of bomb chews in a small chest, you'll find an actual bomb chew bag in a large chest, which can also be your logical explosives for things like bomb chew bowling.
Yep.
The only chest the only check in the game that requires a bomb bag and not bomb chews is the spinning pot in Goron City.
And King Dodongo, I think.
Yeah, but you can do that with
you can do it with choose.
No, but if you have choose, if you have choose and strength, that's in logic.
Yep.
Which is dumb.
But yeah, there's a little bit of nuance to that one, but it's not a lot. It doesn't affect a whole lot.
Yeah. Some other ones, starting age, whether you start as a random or set to child or adult. Random spawns. So in here we had the vanilla spawns of adult in Temple of Time, child in Kokiri. You can have that be random, like it was a few seasons ago.
Yep.
As well as other quality of life things, like having one of Andrew's chickens instead of 7, or having some of the expensive merchants shuffled. So things like Bomb Chew, Carpet Salesman, and the Potion Shop merchant, and
Medigoron.
Medigoron, the one who makes the shitty version of the Goron sword.
Yep.
As well as even, we were talking about earlier, random warp song destinations. Owls is a separate setting.
Yep.
You can turn it on or off, and there are 2 owls, and it's real gnarly.
Yep.
When the top of Death Mountain Trail Owl is required to get to Child Spirit.
Yep.
And you just kind of get angry.
Yep. Yeah, and then a couple others. Blue Fire Arrows, if you watch any League, you're a little more familiar. Can be logically required, but very rarely does it actually have impact. It does, but rarely. Similarly, I saw another one on here that I wanted to talk about. CAMC. I think everyone's kind of in denial that this one is on the list, I think, because everyone's like, I will murder whoever turns this off.
I will find you and I will slash your tires if you turn off chest appearance matches contents. That is a promise.
Yeah, so CAMC, chest appearance matches content, so size and texture indicates what kind of item is in there. And if you turn that off, you have all of the vanilla chests back.
Yeah.
So they're the same size, and they're all that same, like, brown texture or the boss key texture.
Meaning you have to open up every single chest.
Yep.
When you're looking for items.
You don't know if it's a key. You don't know if it's choose. Nothing.
You just start opening items, and it will add, at minimum, 10 to 15 minutes to a seed.
Yeah.
You just flush down the toilet an additional 10 or 15 minutes.
So if you could ban a minor setting at this moment, would you always ban that instead of Overworld Skulls?
Oh my god. That would be my hard ban. My tier list at this point goes Overworld Skulls, chest appearance matches content, indoor entrance randomizer, and then everything else.
Everything else. It's not even actually the same tier.
No, it's those 3, and then everything else is like way lower.
Yep. So we are seeing Ryu go into Ice Cavern, still looking for that hook shot. It's getting a little dire for him, I would say. Not being able to finish Spirit sucks. He's going to have to go back to that. Hells already has all of Forest done. We know the other hook shot is in there. It's going to be able to finish up Spirit here.
Yep. One thing I was going to say, though, is before we totally, tangent away from settings. No, you're fine. This is for you, chat. What is one setting, either major or minor, that you are excited to play? Not excited to ban, because we all know that the correct answer is Overworld Skulls. But what is one setting that you're like, I'm really excited to play X setting, or I'm really excited to play Y setting? I'm curious to see what y'all have to say. Because
I would have been really excited to play Frog Shuffle. But it's not an option.
You hear that, devs? Mel wants a minor, a new minor setting.
No, everyone's gonna fight me. Beatable only, dungeon ER, trials, scrubs. Yeah, I like all of these. I don't even mind Overworld Skulls. But that is something that I do consider myself okay at doing, is skull routing, so it makes sense that I'm like, I'd rather do that.
Yeah. I think the one that I'm most excited about, I'm not great at it, but is trials.
Yes. I think trials are fun. I think it's a good way to add back in a part of the game that we don't usually get to see. Dungeon keys. Yeah. Fortunately, it's not fully shuffled keys. There is a full key sanity setting where your keys can just be everywhere. That's not on, fortunately. Beatable only, yep. Yeah, so we're seeing beatable only, required only. They did change the name pretty recently. All it means is that, unlike this, you're not actually guaranteed access to everything, just what you need to do. Yeah, and then there's some minor settings, I don't see people picking chickens, for example, a whole lot. Maybe if they don't really care what kind of settings are on, that might be a pick. But I think it's more intriguing, and players are more interested in finding how different settings interact and some of the nuance between them. Just make Anju gather her own dang chickens. I mean, agreed. If you can choose chickens or free scarecrow and you pick chickens, I have questions. I think part of what required only, where it really ends up standing out, is when you have the keys in the dungeon. It actually helps a lot. If you have required only and key rings, for example, you could easily end up doing an entire unrequired shadow temple. Just like now. Yeah, no. We hope people are picking settings based on their own strengths and skill sets, of course. There might be ones who do pick something just because they want to mess with their opponent, maybe they're friends, or maybe they happen to know that their opponent really hates a setting. Drew is definitely less angry than me. I can confirm that. Drew, very chill. All right. I was reading chat and totally missed what song was in ice. Oh, Minuet. Okay, thank you. Minuet. So another warp. I mean, this could go to GTG. Market. Okay. Minuet was a nice.
Oh, nice. Stepped away for a memento.
Minuet of Market. Yeah. This should be hookshot for Ryu.
Yeah, and this is gonna feel. I would hate to be Ryu in this circumstance.
Yep.
You know, this is one of the last locations that Ryu is doing.
Yep. And it's very unfortunate when you find yourself, almost 2 hours in, no hookshot.
Yeah.
Fortunately, he's actually not, he is a full forest behind, but he just has to beat Twinrova in spirit, so that's not terrible. Hells is gonna have to go do some clearing anyway, because we don't have Dins.
We don't have Dins. No, and there's nothing right now that's pushing us fully into AD. All dungeons, and that's mostly because we don't have Boomerang.
Yep.
So I think Boomerang or Iron Boots. I think once you get one of those two, I think you're a little bit more okay. It's time.
Yep.
But yeah, all we're missing is Din's Fire from Go Mode?
Yep. Yeah, and at this point you're kind of thinking, all right, what haven't I done, actually? We can technically do water. We have gold scale, but like you said, there's no irons. Getting into Water Temple with gold scale is in logic, but doing anything there without irons is not. So it's not a very compelling place to go. Jabu is only one check, but it is available.
It is available.
But I do think that Hells is going to end up kind of backtracking over some spots here that Ryu's already done. Give Ryu some time to catch back up.
Yep.
Definitely advantage Hells right now, but we have no idea what our third trial is still.
Oh yeah, you're right. So what trials could these runners not accomplish in this moment? So can't do fire trial because you need third strength. Can't do light trial because you need third strength. You can beat forest.
Yep.
You can beat water.
Yep.
You can beat shadow.
Yep.
And you can beat spirit.
Yep.
All right. So
so it's really just that strength 3 that we're kind of still expecting to find.
So we're about a 50-50 chance that we're going to need strength 3?
Yes.
We have 4 trials that we don't know about, 2 of which require strength 3.
But yeah, we do have an unresolved Path to Tower, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And that's going to tell us pretty conclusively, I think, because if what you find in there is your irons or your boomerang, you're sweating.
Yeah. Or at least you have direction.
Yeah. But it is possible, like, we talked about the strengths. Neither of our strengths have locked each other.
Yep.
So, I mean, we might not have a lot of info about strength 3.
It could be a free-for-all for strength 3. And something that you'll know about these runners, or that you'll notice about these runners, what the Hells has done 1, 2, 3, 4 dungeons, done GTG, done soon to be Ice Cavern. We're not even at 2 hours yet.
Nope.
That just shows you the skill and efficiency of these runners to be able to do a massive portion of this game in a very little amount of time.
Yep. Yeah, they're both so fast.
Yeah.
And you're like, you really admire them, but hate them a little.
Just a little bit. Just a smidge.
We did have a skull mask hint. It's dead. We have not seen chickens. It is 7 chickens.
Ugh.
But I do think that a lot of what is left anyway after this is child, so I wouldn't be too surprised if we see it. Dampe digging, we still have.
Yep. So some child cleanup for sure.
And yeah, Deku is foolish.
Yeah, so won't be seeing that beyond just going and beating Goma.
Yeah, and you're not going in there until you know it has to be AD, and you have Dins.
Yeah. Yeah. So really, I mean, we're looking at some child cleanup. Could be something like horseback archery, now that they have Eponas. Not a whole lot beyond that, if I'm thinking about it. So at least with the items that they have. If they start to collect more items, then, that's a different story. But at least with what they have, that's kind of what we're looking at.
Yep. I think Hells has Adult Lake, maybe some South Fields that he hasn't done. Ryu's just going to go do Forest, going to end up getting that long shot that was in there. Is there another item?
In Forest?
Yeah.
Not that I remember. I think the long shot is the big one.
Okay. Where was Kokiri Sword?
That was Lab Dive.
Lab Dive. That's
Yep.
right.
Yep.
Did Hells not do that?
No.
What? Okay.
No, and again, interesting that they both chose different gold scale checks to do. On the one hand, Ryu decided to choose the Lab Dive scale check, and what the Hells did the Tech Type scale check. So they picked 2 different routes, but have started converging. Again, what the Hell's a little bit in the lead, as Ryu is just now starting Forest, which on a good day is about 14 minutes. So that's 14 minutes that he's going to have to be slogging in here, that what the Hell's has already finished.
Yep. And I mean, lead is definitely a little subjective here because we don't have a complete view of what we need still. Because if that Kokiri Sword is important, it's very likely Hells finds it along the way, looking for Dins, but not guaranteed.
Yeah. All right. Did Ryu do King Zora?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. So we already know that this is taken care of. So I'll be interested to see kind of what Hells prioritizes next.
Yep.
In this, I'm looking for really one item, and then, whatever it is that is in Shadow Temple.
Yep.
Knowing that Shadow Temple's on the path to Tower, knowing that really the only item that he's missing at this point for Tower completion is Strength 3.
Strength 3. Yep.
He can do every other trial in this moment.
Yep.
Thinking hard.
Thinking about it.
All right. trying to orient yourself of like, okay, wait, where am I?
Where am I going? Is this better than safe quitting? Okay.
Well, I think it was just okay, wait, which entrance of market is this?
Yep. All right. Yep, this looks like it's going to be some child cleanup.
Honestly, don't disagree with this. I'll see where Bolero takes him. Curious.
Oh,
Trail.
Okay. Well, if it's at the bottom, of course it's
Of course it's the top.
Yep. Hell's gonna pick up Epona here on Burning Cack.
Yeah, you're right. If it had been the bottom,
would have been nice and fast.
Would have been fast.
But of course not. Oh. There's not enough arrows there. All right.
Ryu getting the hover boot strat there, nice and clean. Actually, that's a great peek from Ryu. I'd never seen that before.
Mm.
Should learn that one. There's the Eponas.
There's our horse. How many arrows do you need for well, that's not allowed in this rule set. Fire arrow entry is banned.
Yep.
But
very
it's
much so.
What is it though? It's 20. 20?
Oh, I don't know. I just usually do it, mess it up, say fuck, reset, try it again.
Easy FAE, light one torch, or just have open shadow.
Or just open
Just
shadow.
open shadow. At that point.
Now what in... So, Hells has done all of Field, correct?
I don't think he's done Southfield, but I also think that he just wanted some arrows.
Oh. For what?
Composer Grave Torches?
Because
He only had one, he couldn't do it.
I was like, what fire check does he need to do?
Maybe nothing.
Are we?
Yes! Ryu says, you want me to do an exhibition match? I am going to do an exhibition match.
I got real excited there for a second.
It's free Scarecrow.
It's free Scarecrow.
So, like, he's gonna do it.
Oh, baby.
Yes!
Yes!
Amazing.
Oh, I love this. I love everything about this.
Yeah, this is great. Just a casual 3-key forest. So what this is doing is skipping a couple of key requirements. It's very slow. You have to hit a switch, go down a hallway, do the fire arrow eye thing.
Yep.
It's very slow.
It's 23 torches, huh? Cool.
But torches doesn't equal arrows, right? Because you light a couple. Maybe it is. I don't know.
No, I think you're right. I think you do double shoot. Like,
A couple
one
of
arrow
them.
counts for... Yep.
Alright, so this will likely be HBA, horseback archery from Hells back in Fortress.
Yeah. Not a bad play when you're looking at, like, what do I want to do for cleanup?
Mm-hmm.
So, and especially if... What was GGG Path 2?
Tower.
Was it just Tower?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got lights there.
Didn't know if there was another Path 2 blank.
No.
Okay. So it doesn't really give us a whole lot of information then as to the logic of... You know, I was wondering if that Strength 2, which led to hovers, may have been like, okay, you should probably get X before.
Yeah.
But it
No,
doesn't seem like
I
that.
think it was entirely just the, Hells either forgetting that this was hinted or hasn't seen that hint. I'm not entirely sure, but waiting out a little bit of time of day. Because otherwise you gotta get off the horse, play Sunsong, get back on the horse.
Yep.
It about evens out.
Also, Epona is incredibly finicky here.
Yeah.
She's just like, oh, you want to go straight? Nah, I don't feel
No.
like it. Let me just start backing up in the most erratic way possible.
What was that? What?
Yeah, what? Who? Where? All right, let's see what HBA gives us. And then afterwards, I think there's some shout-outs that we are due for.
Yes.
All right. We're looking clean.
2,000 or forfeit. Come on, chimp. It is always very fun to watch someone hit 2,000 on a restream, especially.
Yeah, I'm not that person.
All right, a
And-
1620.
And will continue to not be that person. Nice. Nice. Well, here's the thing, though. Of all the items that you want to see, you already have gold scale. You don't want to see that.
Yeah. That, I can tell you the exact sound my brain would be making. First off, I wouldn't have gotten that check anyway because I can't do HP at 1500. But if I could, my brain would be going, because I don't want to have to go water. This sucks. But this is very likely he'll pick up that Kokiri sword now if it is needed.
Yep. Checking Valley now. Well, this is fun.
Oh, the recoil!
Yeah!
Nice.
Clean.
All right. Well, happy 2 hours, everyone. Shout out to our runners. What the hell's happened? And RyuuKane, again, our season 4 and 6 champions, respectively. Putting on a really great show here. Came up with some very interesting settings. They've played out nicely so far. I'm very curious to see how this is all resolved ultimately. Our trackers today, Baseball and Kasinja. Thank you for pushing all of the buttons.
Hell yeah.
Tobias, our restreamer, filling out all of the forms so that bot knows what our hints are, making sure nothing is broken so you can watch this amazing race. And Heaps on comms with me.
It only took me having my flight delayed 5 hours in the airport.
5 hours.
5 hours. I may or may not have gotten to the airport at 2 o'clock for a 3 p.m. flight. My flight didn't leave until 8:30 p.m. It was so great.
Amazing.
Friends are worth it.
Friends are worth.
Even if it would have been faster to drive.
Yeah. But yes, as someone asked in chat, we are mostly looking for Dins. We expect to find a strength 3 in Shadow Temple. So effectively what we're expecting is just Dins for go mode. But there is actually still a relatively strong chance that it is all dungeons, and we have to do all of our stone dungeons anyway.
Welcome in Zelda Speedruns 2.
I think they were doing Z2R?
A Link to the Past.
Link to the Past.
Link to the Past.
Welcome in.
So if you are new here, this is Ocarina of Time Randomizer. As you can see from our tracker, so very similar to A Link to the Past, we want we want some discs, we want some frisbees. For us, they are in the form of these colorful medallions here. There are 6 of them that we need, 5 of which require behind dungeon completion. Those dungeons are Dodongo's Cavern, Fire, Forest, Spirit, and Shadow Temple. The remainder of the dungeons are, and I watched my first A Link to the Past match a few days ago. Mm-hmm. So the pendants, are the optional things in A Link to the Past. That is our stones there, and Jabu Water and Deku. Beating the 3 of them will give you 1 additional song, but beyond that, doesn't really do much. As for the win con, did I do it right?
That sounds about right. Yeah, we've been getting crash courses in A Link to the Past. Specifically cross keys. A wallet.
I was about to say Link to the Past runners and watchers and enthusiasts. You'll have to help me and correct me if I'm wrong. But from what I understand, that is the requirement for A Link to the Past. Fairly similar here in Ocarina of Time. So the only variance that we have as we're getting into our Season 7 is that there are some additional settings that are randomized per a draft. And our settings today that are randomized are 3 trials are on in Ganon's Castle, as well as open Zora's Fountain for both child and adult, as well as some minor settings including free Scarecrow and random warp songs.
Yeah, and this is all played out pretty well so far.
Yeah.
I would say these don't these particular settings aren't interacting in a way that is any like more or less nasty than what you typically think of, like from season 6. It's just Rando is doing Rando and putting things in Tektite Grotto once again. I don't know why it's always Tektite, but it is.
It's always Tektite Grotto.
We did see horseback archery. Our iron boots were on 1500.
Yep. So the one item that we are really digging for right now is Din's Fire. So Shadow Temple requires a few items: Din's Fire, hover boots, a magic source, and some access to the top of Graveyard there in the form of a song. Again, we have random song warps, so we had to find a song that got us to the top there. We have everything for that except for the Din's Fire part.
Yep. And I would say the really interesting part of where this race is at currently, you can see Ryu's almost through Forest, is now through Forest. Like they're even.
Yeah.
Hells has done a couple of extra checks by way of horseback archery. I don't think Ryu has done Southfield, but don't actually quote me on that because maybe.
Yeah,
He did.
If Ryu decides to go child for child cleanup,
Right. It's
versus
just
adult,
yeah.
we could easily have a match.
Yeah, it just depends on where Din's is at this point.
Yep. So, it'll be interesting. Ryu, checking some additional hints. I don't know what hints we're really missing at this point.
We're missing a path hint still.
Are we really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think we have a path to... No, maybe not.
I thought we had 5 paths.
We have Bongo, Phantom, Ganon, and 3 to Tower, right? Okay.
Yep.
Maybe what Ryu is hoping to find is what that last trial is. We're pretty sure that it's either Light Trial or Fire Trial.
What the hell?
Oh, no.
May have had a VC crash.
Oh,
VC
no.
crash.
Okay. All right. So usually in this case, we end up having an FPA agreement.
Yep.
We are seeing Ryu pause.
The real question is, when's the last time that What the Hell saved?
You know, he has started saving more frequently recently, but this could be nasty. I have no idea.
I have no idea either.
So we're gonna take a look at his screen here.
So what FPA means is FPA is an acronym?
Yes.
Initialism.
Initialism.
I was like, I'm surrounded by people who read and enjoy reading for a living.
An acronym is a word you can say.
An initialism. He has iron boots. He's fine.
Okay. Yep.
He has irons. So he's not that.
I think Kokiri sword is the only thing. Oh no, he's even got Kokiri
No, I think
sword.
he saved like right before Water Temple.
Yep. So it's just getting back to Lake. So that'll be nice and quick.
Yeah.
It's a couple minutes, but
That's nothing. That's pennies.
yeah, that's like best case scenario as far as the last time you saved.
Yeah. So fair play agreement, or the initialism FPA. I'm just happy that I even recognized that there was a difference. I'm proud of myself for that. Comes whenever an unexpected event happens in the game that causes you to reset and or lose time for some reason.
Yep. And
So-
usually in a like for fun match like this, you don't need to use it. There's no reason that they would have to. There's very small stakes at this, but that's part. Let's circle back to that community aspect and
Yep.
like being good players and gamesmanship, and that is just kind of what this is part of. Ryu doesn't want to win or lose a race because he's got to wait a few minutes. Oh,
I think Ryu actually just went to the...
Ryu just went away for a bit.
Ryu took advantage of this time to say, well, what the hell's is going to be retreading his steps. I'm going to go do whatever I want for 3 minutes.
What is that?
And so...
Is it an elliptical?
I think so.
This is so funny because I specifically cropped my camera to hide my elliptical.
Oh, do you really? Well, so I used to have this gorgeous apartment before I moved, and I would showcase the high vaulted ceilings and the exposed brick walls. And now I just live in a void.
Yeah.
Just a plain white wall. So eventually I will have art and other things there. But what I was going to say, though, is that I think the longest I've ever waited was 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It was in co-op.
Yeah.
And my co-op partner and I were like, we're not going to win by, somebody crashing their game. So we sat and we waited.
Yep.
We waited and we waited and we waited and we waited and we waited.
Ordered pizza.
We ordered.
BK mode. Went to Burger King.
Yeah. So, Tomotachi, thank you so much for the subscription there. 38 months.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, so what checks do we have left? It is mostly Water Temple, but there are some straggling, child checks available. Vanilla Boomerang Chest is actually available. Dompe Digging, Chickens. Ryu is about to show us one of the other remaining checks. I don't think this can be Din's, because I am pretty sure... Oh no, Fire Arrows weren't in Spirit. I keep forgetting that.
Huh? GTG.
GTG, yeah. Weren't.
Yeah, not.
Yeah. So this could be our Din's here.
Yep. So Ryu will that's basically where he crashed. What the hell's again, very quick. He had basically everything that he needed.
Yep.
I swear to God, if he crashes here again.
I know, right?
That's when you just skip this check. You just go,
leave.
you know
It's
what?
Cursed. It's cursed. But I assume we'll save very quickly here. It's always interesting when crashes happen. Is that our third hype train?
No.
I feel like I keep seeing the hype train emotes. How many hype trains have we had?
Enough.
Can we get 7?
Oh, for S7?
7 hype trains for S7?
Hell yeah. I was like, is it gonna work?
The panic. All right.
Okay.
And we are
There's
pausing.
the pause. Yep. Ready to go. We'll get started back here in just a moment. Thank you, Star, for re-pointing out. For those of you who are joining in and wondering what our settings are, we have trials that are on.
That's 3 trials.
Correct. Thank God it's not 7. Or 6?
6.
How many trials are there?
6.
6. I played this game. Been in the main tournament for the last 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. There's always more to learn, folks.
Apparently. This trial is the trial in your heart.
It's actually the fortitude to complete this game over and over.
So, other ones include Open Fountain, both child and adult, Free Scarecrow, and Random Warp Songs. So it looks like Ryu probably retracing, what the hell's the steps here? Just got Epona's going to be doing some adult cleanup. Which, if you are a Ryu fan, it's not quite what you want to see Ryu doing, is retracing the steps that What the Hells did.
Yep.
Given the fact that Ryu is just a little bit behind, had to waste some time doing dungeons inefficiently because they didn't have a hook shot. Speaking of the hype train that's incoming.
Woo! Let's go!
80%.
Amazing.
Alpha Mario for 24 months.
Remembering their scrubs is the 7th trial.
Oh, if I have to do indoor entrance ER, there will be entrances that I will not even know existed.
Yep.
I'll be like, because, everyone goes, it's the doors. You check all the doors, and I'm like, but where are all the doors?
Yeah.
I don't know where all the doors.
I don't know where the doors
When's
are.
the last time I ever went into this door, that door?
Yep.
Do you know how many doors there are in Kakariko?
Yes.
So many doors.
So many doors.
Jesus Christ, so many doors.
One thing we didn't mention earlier about the indoor ER, because we don't want to like get too deep in, too lost in the sauce about a setting that's not on in this race.
Yep.
Like Richard. Richard can't move.
Richard can't move.
Because what I want to do is have to drag Richard all across Hyrule Field to find his house. I think that's funny as hell.
I would murder anyone.
Richard Shuffle. It's its own thing.
Oh my god, it's like in Gerudo Valley, and you have to cart it from Gerudo Valley through Lake
Richard.
through Field.
Richard in the crate in Valley. How do I get him out of here? Link just gets a little dog backpack or something. Amazing.
And Richard's mom be like, thank you so much. Here's 5 rupees.
Here's your 5 rupees
Here's
for
your 5 rupees.
bringing my dog home.
Literally halfway across the world.
And there's irons for Ryu.
Now, do we know how many keys does Ryu have accounted for in GGG? Because I don't know if toilet was a item or key. Ryu's skipping it, so
Ryu's not going back, so
I assume that because he counts keys, and he's very good at counting keys. I would love to say the same about What the Hells, but I don't think I can. What the Hells is a little bit more chaotic in his approach.
I feel like that is one thing that I have garnered from the people that I watch most is probably how I play, and it is what's counting keys. It's walking into Fire Temple and every time going, how many keys are in here? Oh no.
Oh, buddy! It's fine. You can slap on iron boots. You can hook shot.
I mean, you also have hover boots. Like, it's not terrible to just redo the room.
He's like,
Thinking about it. What do I do? What do I do?
Yeah.
What's the backup here? Yeah, those Tektites don't screw us up very often, but sometimes they just come out with a vengeance.
That moment of, wait, I have to do it. I don't know a backup. Never had to do a backup
What
here.
is this room? It's like when you're trying to find the last skull. There's a skull that most people who have watched Rando probably have never seen. They don't do dungeon skulls.
Which one?
In
here?
Yeah.
In water?
Where you have to like bomb the floor and
that
go
one
down and up and back.
Sucks ass.
There's a gate that goes up. It's terrible.
I think you're talking about the one. So, speaking of, chat. We got overworld skulls. We got dungeon skulls. What is your least? No, let's do this. What skull? If there was one of 100 skulls that you think runners would forget, what's that one skull? What do you think is the most forgettable skull?
Yeah. Have I talked to you about this?
Yeah, we talked a little bit about this, which is why I'm bringing it up. What do you think is the most forgettable skull? Because we all remember the ass skulls. Like, we all remember the ones like, oh yeah, bottom of Deku Tree. Like, everyone remembers that. We don't like it, but we remember it. But what's the most forgettable skull?
Are you seeing what I am seeing?
I'm looking at some of the...
No, we found it. We found Boomerang. Interesting.
Well, shit.
Is that 2 of our items? 3 of our items?
Yeah, it's 80. Alright. Well, I'm gonna go grab a blanket, a pillow. Curl up a little bit. We got some shit to do.
So my theory about this is that the skulls that are kind of most annoying to get or very intense, like, you know, the quote-unquote 100th skull in Fountain as adults, It's like, oh, I need a hammer, or no, I need strength 2 and magic, and it has to be night. It's awful.
Oh my god. When I learned that it had to be night, I showed up there during the day, went to go find the skull, and I was like,
where is it?
yo, where is it?
Am I in the wrong spot?
Yo, what the fuck? Where is it?
I don't think you forget those because they're kind of always in the back of your mind, like, oh, I can't do it anyway. But I think the most forgettable skull is the soil patch one right in front of Dodongo's cavern.
Oh, yeah.
Because when you're watching people do soil patch skulls, they're not doing that one. It sucks to get to.
That one sucks. That's a forgettable one. I agree with that. I could also see the skull, and I think somebody pointed this out in chat. I think Renata, you actually pointed this one out, of the one outside of CAC. That one sucks.
Yep.
Or the one on the way to Valley in that grotto by the cow.
Yeah.
Oh, that one. That's a forgettable skull.
Knowing that skull is there.
Yo,
I was watching someone play Overworld Skulls a couple days ago, and they were like, wait, there's a skull in there.
No, that's what I was about to say. I played Cow Sanity, and I heard that sound of the skull, and I was like, the fuck? There's a skull here?
Yep. I see some people saying Hyrule Castle Storms. I can see that one being easy to forget just because we don't go into that usually in Rando anyway.
Yeah, and by the time you get Storms, it's not the check that you're thinking of.
Yeah.
Right, you think of all the other Storms checks that you need, but that's not one of them.
I would say Storms is probably, like, it's already one of the most impactful child songs in terms of number of checks, but Storms really becomes, like, actually a key song in some of these. Yep. Not necessarily Overworld Skulls, it doesn't lack a whole lot, but if Scrubs are on, suddenly you're like, that's a few extra checks.
Yep. So there are definitely some, like, very forgettable skulls. I'm also trying to think of, like, dungeon skulls that I always forget about. Like the one in Spirit Temple. Like, there's a few in Spirit Temple that I forget about. I forget about the one past the sunblock room.
Yep.
I forget about that one all the time.
Yep.
And even when I am, like, trying to just farm to 20, right?
Yeah.
I just need to get to 20 skulls. You know which one I never do? The one in the main statue room.
Oh, yeah.
By the Scarecrow. If you have Longshot, that is a free skull.
Even if you have hovers.
Yeah.
You can hover over
It is literally a free skull, and I can count on one hand the amount of times I've ever collected that skull.
Yep.
One hand! No one gets that skull.
Yeah, I mean, the one in Back of Shadow, because it's, again, another room that no one goes into, kind of brutal. Okay, so Ryu...
Where was our rank?
It was Dark Link.
No.
And I assume Ryu comes back in here.
He goes back in. Absolutely. Because, like, why else would you beat water if you did not intend to go back into, like, if you're not intending on doing AD, I don't know.
Hells looks like he's committing to it. I think it makes sense. Unfortunately, Water and Jabu are the two most check-dense locations left. Because from there, it's, like, CAC.
Oh, yeah, CAC.
Yeah, like, you have to do chickens, Dompe digging, and so it makes sense to do these first. It just kind of, it feels so bad. Like, you're sitting here right now rethinking every choice you've made that's led you to this.
Look, I don't have to be playing Zuda to do that. Thanks, Renata.
It's true. Heaps is currently studying for a very difficult exam. I watched him study a little bit this morning.
It's brutal.
And I don't know if anyone's familiar with the show Black Books, but in the very first episode, there's this scene where the main character is trying to do his taxes, and he's reading it out loud, just like, what sounds like total gibberish. He goes, what is that?
That was me.
And that was Heaps.
This morning. Yeah, so I take my basically my licensing exam for pediatrics in 11 days. And instead of studying, I'm like, yeah, let's, go on a trip and commentate for Zooter and watch hockey. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea with my time.
Having a good time.
So, but I did do some studying this morning to justify my trip. And Mel had to listen to all of my expletives every time I got a practice question wrong. Of like, oh, mother, of course that was the answer. Rawr!
Rawr.
Just dinosaur noises.
You're doing the right thing. Taking study breaks is important.
Oh no, did he just drown Rudo?
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Rudo, why are you the way you are?
Yeah, why can't she swim?
I think she can. And
she just chooses
sucks.
not to?
It's like Anju, you can touch these chickens, bitch. Come on. Goosebumps my ass.
She just chooses not to. I refuse, I drown.
I would rather die
Then
than swim.
I would say take a step, but she's not even stepping. She's
You just swim around. Well, guess I'll just drown.
God, to have that kind of gall, right? To be like, I am such a princess that I will be carried, and I will not be walking or swimming, and I will rather choose to drown than actually take a step or a swim.
It's fine, because on top of that gull, she has those gills. No?
Sorry, I was reading Chimp's comment.
Oh, what did Chimp say?
About, she's just teleporting.
Just teleportation, no big
Yeah.
deal. Easy. Alright, Ryu also about to find the bad news here that Boomerang is in water. I guess it's not really bad news because you're like, oh, I have to do another dungeon, alright.
Yep. I swear to God, if it's just on Dompe digging.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like, it could just be on child cleanup.
And they're probably going to do that on their way to well.
Yep.
Imagine if it's just Dompe.
Yeah, you beat Deku first, right? Pick up the song before going and doing chickens and digging.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know it's foolish, so you don't even have to open anything. They don't have fire that's usable as a child, unfortunately, so they can't just dins down, but...
Yeah, and I would 100% go and do olive well before chickens.
Yeah. You might do half and half, though.
No, I'm last locationing chickens.
But, like, you can start chickens, do well, finish chickens.
You could. I wouldn't. Well, okay, my last match I did all 7 chickens at the 23-hour mark. So, sometimes I go against my standards. Not often, though. $23 minute. I misspoke.
We're expecting gold gauntlets to be in Shadow Temple. We are hunting for dins right now. Jabu's not gonna have anything.
Of course not.
Alright. Ryu!
Why do you think I've made myself comfortable? Look, I have definitely gone from sitting to being horizontal in the last 5 minutes.
Yep, we do need dins to open Shadow Temple. Imagine if we could do fire arrow entry right now.
Those are some spicy words there, Mel.
I'm dropping it in chat right now.
Do we have that on as a minor setting? FAE allowed.
FAE allowed. Minor setting.
Please don't fire us.
Someone ban her. Someone ban Jimbo. Get this man out of here. Oh, he's gonna server mute both of us.
We're on the...
We're on the
We're
same
on the same
account.
microphone. It's one mute.
You can't do it.
It's not hard.
It would not be the first time that he has server muted me while I am doing commentary.
It's fair. We do deserve it sometimes, though.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
We're just here.
And again, part of the problem of being together in person is, usually we have some amount of distance that provides a barrier or filter. No, you just get us.
Now we're just here hanging out with each other.
And the ambulance is hanging out with us.
Yeah, and some ambulances. That's not us.
That's
we didn't do that.
It's Renata. All right. Nothing in Shabu.
The comms police. Oh no!
And again, I'm not surprised. The interesting thing, though, Mel, is that because we were talking about possibly having bottom of the well be required for tower, and having some of these items pointing towards AD, pointing towards bottom of the well. If bottom of the well has Din's Fire, none of these items can be path to tower items.
They can't be hinted path to
Sorry,
tower.
they cannot be hinted as
Yeah.
path to tower items.
They would definitely still be path, obviously. It's just any overlap. So when we're talking about how hints are prioritized, it's that overlap that we're really talking about. So the bridge and boss key condition, those items are removed from the tower list.
Correct.
Because that's the lower priority. And so if it is AD, everything other than those golds and those lights become unhintable. Which is why it's really interesting that we ended up with 3 path to tower hints, because it means we know Song of Time isn't required for any of this.
Yep.
Except for those light arrows.
Yeah, right?
Yep. And we do know that our last trial is going to be either fire or light trial requiring those golds.
Has to be. Yeah, because I think the other 2 trials, i.e. Shadow and what's the other? Spirit.
Yep.
Nope, wait, Spirit's on. Water.
Spirit's on.
Water. Shadow and water. We could do right now with the items that we have.
Yep. The only thing that we are missing to do any of the trials right now are those golds. Oh, we know it's light trial now. Okay, thank you.
Oh, nice!
That's nice, because I would much rather do light trial. It's much easier than fire.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about your learning experience?
No.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. So trials are interesting in the sense that you can do most trials with a shockingly low amount of items. For example, Forest Temple or Forest Trial traditionally requires hover boots. And in fact, it's much easier with hover boots. But there are some tricks that you can do to avoid even needing hover boots for Forest Trial. Same thing with Fire, or with Spirit Trial. Normally you need some type of fire source to open up the light to shine. But a well-positioned bow shot can actually open that up. And so, and even bomb chews, normally Spirit Trial requires bomb chews. And I think most of us are familiar with the bomb chewless strat because of the chest that's typically there. So you've seen runners do that a lot, but we can even bypass that requirement. So lots of things that you can do to bypass requirements. Sans strength 3 for Fire and Spirit, and long shot in Fire. Are kind of and then like mirror shield for Spirit. So there's a few items that you cannot get away from. I think that's why I like Shadow Trial the most, because you can do Shadow Trial with a crazy amount of combinations of items.
Yeah, I will say it's kind of like we talked about that first chest in Shadow Trial, how many options there are to do that. The whole thing has that many options.
Yeah. You can technically do it with like Dins and Longshot. You can do it with fire arrows. You can do it with hovers. You can do it without hovers. Like, so many different ways that you can navigate that.
Every time Hells pulls out a bomb like that, I'm concerned he's gonna do a Hess. Like he's forgotten that he's in an actual race here
And can't do that.
and can't do it.
Yep. Though, absolutely would provide quality entertainment if he was.
Yeah. Whoop.
Nice and easy.
Nice
Get the
and
web.
fast.
Get the side hop. Oh wait, no, you can't side hop there because you're coming from a different web.
Yep. Yep. You're like, oh, that's the wrong side. Alright.
The swag side hop there. Get the ground jump here.
Have either of them actually turned in 10 or 20 skulls?
Hell's turned in 10.
Okay. So 20 is still
I think 20 still
on the table.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Committing to 80 before 20 skulls is very interesting. Hells isn't even collecting 20 skulls by the looks of it.
Look, there are some hills that you just die on.
I mean,
And
I don't think either of them did nightcap skulls, so it makes
That's
a lot
what I
of
was gonna
sense
say.
that like
that's what I was going to say.
you can basically get your remaining 10 in child right around CAC. That skull that I talked about, the soil patch skull, you might get that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Yo, T! Welcome in.
Yeah, so if you're desperate for skulls, they are set up to be able to do it. Both of them are, and so, not worried about either one of them. And I don't disagree with this play of like push your highest density location first.
Yep.
And kind of do your other checks passively along the way.
Yep. All right.
So I would say What the Hells has about a 6-minute lead at this point.
Yeah, that feels about right. I
6 to
can't
7.
remember if he did Child Goron City, though, and that's my only, like, does he need to do that still?
I think he did.
Okay.
He did do it.
Okay.
Because he didn't have bomb shoes and he did the slow strat, and I was going to judge him for it.
Yep.
And now you're hearing my judgments out loud. You're welcome.
The filter is gone, folks.
I'm tired. It's only been 2.5 hours.
Wake up.
We still have a whole shadow to do.
We have a whole shadow to do. We have 3 trials to do. Fortunately, they're actually pretty fast trials. Light trial. I mean, none of the trials take that much time if you're familiar with them, but it is still an extra probably 5 minutes with what we've got. So we're looking at 15 minutes in Shadow, 15 minutes for Trials, Climb, Ganon, and that's after we find our Dins.
Yep. I am surprised that not changing time of day for Dompe, in case Dompe is the correct answer. Probably a little bit tunnel vision there in that bottom of the well, which I don't disagree with.
Wait, what's not allowed? I can't tell if Drew's being serious or not.
Mega flipping, I think.
Oh, okay. I was like, did one of the runners do something?
Yeah, I was like, did I miss
I
it?
did. Did I miss something? I didn't think I saw anything that was
So
sketch.
Ryu's
but...
mega flipping, Hell's is hessing.
Yeah, it's fine. They did that thing where they just agreed on which rule they were going to break from standard. This is not a real thing. We're just joking. Full on disclaimer.
Imagine if that was your minor pick. You could pick.
Yeah,
you could pick
one rule break.
One rule in standard that you could break.
Yeah, we've talked about it. Some more casual tournaments, like we did an ice percent where you race to collect the chest and song in Ice Cavern. The rule that we broke was you're allowed to clip through domain instead of 2 KZ skip because it's faster.
If you could draft one rule to break, what would it be?
You know, I'm a bad person to ask this to because I don't really know how to do a lot of the more fun rule break
Yeah.
things. Hey, Zora's Eunuch.
And like, Not a, oh yeah, I'm just going to do arbitrary code execution.
Yeah,
Well, I guess that wouldn't really
no.
help you.
But like fire arrow entry, for example.
RBA would.
Yeah.
Final Adventure.
Yeah.
If you really wanted to. ISG. Oh, that'd be a nice one.
ISG would be a nice one.
I would do Cuckoo Dive into
Oh, oh, that would, yes.
Yeah, Cuckoo Dive into Well?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
But don't you need to ISG to do that? Is it the whole thing that you get to break?
I think you can do it without ISG.
Okay.
You just need the Cuckoo.
Okay.
Make
the chickens angry.
So that would be fun. You could do... Oh, yeah, Navi Dive. Navi Dive is what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Yep, you could Navi Dive it. Yeah, there's that, or maybe if you wanted to do something like, if you had ISG, you can...
I'm waiting for Jimbo to catch up on all of the races that he hasn't recorded over the last few days.
But those were, my minor pick is that I want to do this one particular trick. Would be hilarious. And could definitely have some wild implications in routing.
Well, especially something like this. You know you're going bottom with a well if you're allowed to Navi dive in here.
Yeah, imagine if you had the wherewithal to have picked Navi dive as your pick, and then be like, oh, I need well? Oh.
Yes.
Great. Do that at the 30-minute mark?
Right.
Oh.
This race is already over.
Another way to spin that is, what if your minor pick was you could start with any one item?
I would start... Ooh.
Yeah.
Bomb bag or hook shot? Bomb bag or hook shot?
Bomb bag, no question. Yeah. Bomb bag is so incredibly strong in the opener.
Yeah. I'm just thinking hookshot actually gives you a little more movement, only as adult, obviously, but I would definitely pick one of those two. I might test both out first, just to see.
I think I would start with Storms.
Goron Tunic. That's not an item.
I'm choosing it for it to be an item. I made the rules. I can do whatever I want with them.
Heaps out here. You give him one rule break, he's taken them all.
I want to start with everything.
I would like to start with all of my items, please and thank you.
Just like 6 medallion start.
It sounds like what you want to do is
not play this game. A good Furor's win start is...
Yeah, Furor's win with an actual early magic. Magic would not be a bad one.
Magic, yeah. Yeah. I'd like to start with Lens.
Yeah, if it's league settings, like if you could just take a set of settings and add something to it, I would say Magic is probably... Ooh.
Just a third slingshot.
Just a third sling. It's always a slingshot.
It's always a slingshot. Don't get your heart...
I actually thought we saw all of the slingshots,
Don't
but
get your hopes up.
Okay, so
wow.
Market is path.
Yep.
Get your guesses in. Hells is going straight there. Oh no. Hells is going to
time of day. Childgorn City?
I'm not sure. Oh, the Trail Storms.
Hells, yeah. Oh yeah.
And then Kokiri Forest. And then probably Lens minigame. Ooh, Ryu starting here. Oh, this could be spicy.
Oh, imagine if this
Imagine if it's Din's here. We got an actual, like, great race going on. I mean, it's a great race anyway. But as we've said, Hells does have a little bit of a... What was that?
30.
30 is what?
He was dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Purple Rupee. Okay.
Not Purple Rupee.
Not Purple Rupees. The runner.
No, Purple Rupees does say it was me. It was a me.
It was a me.
Mario!
Oh, Nintendo's gonna sue our asses.
They find us.
Mr. Mario! No. And Frog says, River's foolish. So it's the lens.
I hate this.
It's,
Or it's just Dompe digging.
or Dompe digging. Hi, Drew.
I mean, unless
Chickens, 20 skulls, Dompe. Looks like Hells is actually gonna do Dompe, maybe even chickens before.
This is brutal.
This is brutal.
Do you do Dompe? You do Dompe chickens. Dompe skulls? Chicken's lens?
Yeah.
I think is.
Well, it
or
is
is it
nice.
Dompe lens?
I would say Dompe skulls. Not 20 skulls, but get the night cack skulls while you're here.
Well, what the hell
Maybe.
disagrees with you?
And then do lens mini game so you don't have to change time of day again. It's just one time of day.
Yeah, because I was like, what is the best way to route this?
Yeah, chickens definitely going to be last. I mean, I think chickens before skulls, just because you're gonna do night skulls and then chickens before you leave.
Swear to God, if it's just chickens.
It's just, I mean, Din's chickens is my favorite meme.
I think we just call that rotisserie chicken.
Kakariko fried chicken is the best.
Wasn't there a team name that was Kakariko Fried Chicken?
Yeah. It's a great name.
Great name.
Great name. Great check for Dins to be on. Not for these runners. I don't blame them at all for not doing chickens.
I remember once I had a race where Market was path to my last dungeon, and I didn't have lens. Hell yeah. And I didn't have lens, and it was Triforce Blitz. And I know!
It was all bait.
I hate this.
This is where everyone is like, this game sucks.
This game sucks.
This game sucks. Because of course it's gonna be on chickens.
It's just on chickens.
Yo, let's go, Miss AJ.
But here's the thing. Yo, Miss AJ, hell yeah. Here's the thing, though. You know, if this was a qualifier, somebody would have finished at like 153.
Yeah.
And
Because
everyone would have gone straight to chickens.
Yep.
Because it would be somebody that you typically wouldn't expect to finish in a fast time, finishing at an egregiously fast time. And everyone would promptly stop whatever they're doing and go straight to chickens.
Yep. No. And Hells is choosing chickens before 20. I think that makes sense. It is going to mean probably another Sun Song to collect these skulls if it's 20 instead. But chickens is currently the lower time investment. I want to shout out, not the fact that these runners have full cleared the seed, or will full clear the seed. That feels bad. But the speed at which they have done that.
Yes. Yeah, no, GG's to Zeph, who finished in first place with a time of 1 hour and 57 minutes. Beating our showcase runners by well over an hour. Yeah, no, but I agree with Mel. Like, you look at the time, you look at everything that they've done. I mean, they have done a large amount of checks. There are 100, if you take out the keys, there are 196 items that you can pick up. Most of them are bluebies and or heart pieces, but there's 196 unique items. They have picked up all of them except for the ones in Shadow and the ones in Ganon's Castle. So they have done 160 out of the 196 in under 3 hours. So basically a check a minute, which is about where you want to be if you're doing your CPM, your checks per minute.
My checks per minute never been the same.
Oh God. Glad we're not doing this with the camera on. But when you're talking about your CPM, it varies from race to race, but your goal is to kind of keep down the amount of checks per minute, or you want to be doing more checks per minute. Some of that's execution, some of that's routing, some of that's just, sheer luck and random.
Chat.
Oh. We all know that Group 3B is better. Duh, says the 3B'er. But yeah, so it's something you want to think about, and it's something that you can kind of track and monitor as to how am I doing in this seed and how am I progressing in my ability to play rando. Because at the end of the day, sometimes you're going to have seeds that are just long like this. And the faster that you can do your checks per minute, the better. It's 20.
Full on last location, 20 skulls. And that's, I don't see Ryu making any different decisions here, so that's a huge advantage for Hells.
I hate this.
Yeah. And Hells is opting to go adult, collect those skulls. Having long shot, it's very easy. Like, your movement is pretty good this seed, even with the randomness of the warps. Having hook shot makes it pretty quick.
I'm surprised he didn't do Child Cack, though.
Yeah, that is surprising.
Though it's a quite high amount of skulls that way. So.
Yep. But, you want to be adult anyway, so might as well just do it now.
There's no... Is he going to toilet? There's no way.
No. You don't. No. Surely not.
Surely, there's no way.
Oh?
It's a toilet play. Holy shit. And we have confirmed that 20's not it, right? Or 20's 20. We don't have a hint that says 20 is dead, right?
No. But it's also not toilet.
Can I lay down again?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm back horizontal. There we go.
It's okay.
Is it?
The game breaks us all, even if we are
I'm not even
playing. Ryu very disappointed and confused, I think.
Just like, what do I have left?
Yep. Haunted Wasteland. Hells didn't do this earlier.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Alright, Ryu is walking out of here. And yeah, River is foolish, so we're not gonna see Frogs 1. We're gonna see if... Alright, this looks like Ryu's gonna collect this skull here.
How many is Ryu at? I feel like he's at 10.
Alright, 12.
What the hell is it, 12?
And I remember us saying that really swaggy one in Wasteland was 11 for Ryu.
What the shit? Oh, this is Dante from Ryu.
Oh, I was worried about this. So Hells actually didn't do Hammer Chest, I don't think, and it is an item. It's a wallet. It's nothing. So this is going to give Ryu all of that time back if he's going up for that and not just in here for skulls.
I think this is the game changer moment.
Yep. I think this is going to be it.
Unless Ryu continues to not do 20 skulls.
Yep.
Which because Ryu's still going to do chickens.
Yeah. I think Ryu's going to do this. I don't think Ryu's done Night Cack skulls either. I don't think they've been here as child.
I don't think Ryu has more than 10 skulls, honestly.
Ryu has at least 11. That I know.
18?
No, really?
Oh, I'm trying to read his tracker. I think it's an 18.
Yeah. If Ryu only needs 2 skulls to get to 20...
I think I would have done 20 before chickens.
I would have done 20 before chickens.
It's already night. Just grab your 2 skulls right quick.
Yeah.
Right. Mel's being mean again. Mom, the kids are fighting. Mom, Renata, Mel's being mean again.
I'll make it come over there.
Turn this car around. I'm not sure if you were able to hear both of those, but it's funny.
No respect around here. Hey, just because I'm the baby of the group.
6 whole months.
I know. As you can see, we're just treading old ground. There's really not a whole lot that we're contributing at this point because it's just at some point somebody will just have to do 20.
Yep. This is gonna be a full clear seed. We have to do all of Shadow. We have to do 3 of the trials, Forest Spirit, and Light Trial.
Yep. We're just hanging out. We know that. So one of the things is that we know that we're going to have to do Light Trial, which requires Strength 3, which would be a problem, except for A, we have done every other check in this godforsaken game. So, we're going to have to stumble onto Strength 3. And 2, we know that Shadow is Path to Tower. So, Strength 3's in Shadow.
Yep.
It's got to be. We've done every other check in the game, so...
Yeah, we are looking for Din still, Alex, and we are pretty sure it's on 20 skulls.
Yeah, a lot of disdain for skulls.
Yep. But this is Night Cack. We're expecting to see it here, and if it's not here, it is in toilet.
I
feel like you counted keys well enough.
I think Ryu counted his keys well enough to know that it's not toilet. I mean, both of them have been able to do toilet and chose not to.
Yep.
I think that they both know. They are good enough runners. Ryu, you're at 20, bud.
Yep.
There we go.
Thinks this is interior ER, I guess.
Oh, what the hell is going to be so pissed about? 3, 2, 1.
There it is.
There it is, baby.
All right, that is going to be what we expect to be go mode for Ryu. Doesn't have the golds yet, but we'll be picking them up in Shadow. Hells, I have to assume, is going to start collecting skulls here, but maybe he does. Maybe he ends up reversing again and doing toilet.
No, I think this is just when you go dot forfeit. I think this is just when you go when you just peace. Oh my god, these skulls suck ass.
Yeah, these are not pleasant. Long shot, at least, it's a little easy. I don't think he's doing
toilet!
All right.
What the hell is dying on this hill?
Yeah. He's like, he saw that 12 count. He probably forgot how many skulls he actually had. Saw 12 and was like, nope. In his head, just like, Ryu, please finish, now.
I know, right?
Unfortunately, that AD bait was real strong. And they both did it. And this is going to be a full clear seed.
This is when you intentionally crash the game.
Yeah.
Oh, darn. I think they patched out
You can't dins up. You can't dins anyway.
He doesn't What the hell's right? If you watch this, know that was out of love.
But yes, it used to be that if you used dins in the top room in Spirit Temple, it would crash the game. It doesn't do that anymore.
It's kind of wild to think that people patched the game.
Yeah.
25 years later.
20 plus years later.
Also, in case anyone hasn't done their Duolingo yet, my watch just reminded me that it's time to do your lesson. And I know that there's at least 2 other people in chat who do Duolingo.
Nope. That was fixed Cassandra. A couple other, fun updates that have happened. Did you know that Shield discount RNG is seeded now?
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
What? Wait, to how much?
Hmm?
To how much?
No, it's just seeded.
Oh!
It's just the same for both
Why
runners.
the hell did they seed that?
Because it could be an advantage. Say you need to pick between buying a shield and doing adult archery. One person gets 60 off, the other gets 20.
Nah. Not impressed.
I'm very impressed.
Yeah.
Yep.
I disagree with the room.
It's like Shadow Spinner.
Fight me, Doc. Come to SGL.
Yeah, Jim, come to SGL.
Get my boxing.
Yeah,
gloves
get
out.
Doc out of here. Agree. No, don't leave.
Okay, bye. You know, if you lose me, you lose Mel.
Bye.
I already do have the worst rolls. I buy a shield and he just drains me of 75 rupees. I don't even think that's possible, but it feels like it.
But see, your opponent would also get 75.
And
I'm just saying.
Doesn't
It's
make-
not just you.
I know, but it's all about me.
It's all about heaps.
I don't care what happens to my opponent.
I made this smiley face.
Okay, the two money things that I will bitch at. One, he will give me a discount, but I have to have the 80 rupees first. Bullshit. Two, the scrub, right,
Mhm.
will give you the money first and then take your money
And then take your money second. That is weird.
which is dumb.
All right, and there's the key that we expected to be there in toilet. And Hells has 8 skulls to collect.
So if there's one thing that we could patch, the scrub takes your money first and then gives you the reward second.
Right. Well, like,
Let's patch that.
in what world is that how any business
I don't
transaction
care.
works?
I hate when I get a gold rupee and then it drains me.
No, but that's
40
what I'm saying.
afterwards.
You pay first, then you receive. So
Oh.
I will say, I think that that's different if you have full wallets on or something.
Is it?
Yeah, one of the two did that recently.
Buying a wallet with full wallets on?
Yeah, that's great. I love that. I still say Rosebud wallets. You just put it in and it automatically fills up to 1,000 no matter what size.
Oh, nice.
I
You
need-
can ground jump that? Since when?
Don't worry about it.
Learning so much. I've been playing Rando for 4 years? 4 years? 4 years Thanksgiving? Still learning something every day. Yeah, who patched that in? So it's cool. It is cool to watch how the community comes together to continue to improve the experience of this game. Even some, simple things as making the walls spin faster at the bottom of Forest Temple.
Mhm.
So cool. Did we really need that? No. So cool? So cool.
So cool.
So cool. I needed that emotionally. So yeah, things like that. Oh, it is 3 hours. I think it's my turn. Woo! Mel got distracted and started texting. Calling her out because I can literally see her.
Actually, our hockey tickets were reminding me they're available for tonight.
Yeah, because this match took well over 3 hours.
Yeah. But happy 3 hours. Go ahead.
Happy 3 hours. So our racers, as we had mentioned earlier, what the hell's Season 4 Grand Champion, RyuuKane Season 6 Grand Champion. We have our trackers today. We've got Cassinja and we've got Baseball. We have our restreamer, the person who made all of this possible today, and that is Tobias. And of course, my great and lovely co-commentator here, Mel.
Aw, thanks, Heaps.
Plus minus Renata.
Plus minus Renata.
No, it's been a good day. It's been a good, anytime that I get to watch Zooter, watch very high-end Zooter players, always a fun experience. less so when the item of question is just on 20 skulls. And these runners decided that their commitment was against 20 skulls, which, again, I don't blame them.
I mean, it was a good gamble, clearly. It's both of their last check.
Yeah. So, and again, being the top runners, they know what they're doing. And if you're looking at 30 seconds a skull, let's just go 30 seconds a skull, right? On average, the difference between 10 skulls and 20 skulls is 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That's 5 extra minutes that you're spending picking up skulls that may not actually pay out for anything. And 30 seconds a skull is not unreasonable of a time.
Yep. Yeah. And, this is one of those moments where we're going to see Hells pick up 8 skulls very quickly here. Knows this game like the back of his hand.
All right, going in for that last skull. Pretty decisively, though, Ryuu's match, which, again, kind of unexpected.
Mm-hmm.
What the Hells basically had the lead walking into, really walking out of Forest.
Yep.
Walking out of Forest. Oh, I guess more walking out of Spirit.
Yeah.
By the time Hells finished Spirit, he'd already finished Forest. Ryu hadn't even started Forest at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So he was at least 15 minutes ahead. And Ryu, just showing you why Ryu is, our Season 6 Grand Champion, showed that, persevered, did some good routing choices, was able to catch up on some execution and some routing, and was able to pull the lead.
Yeah. I think, were these their seeds last season? Their Season 6, 1 and 31?
I have no idea.
I have no idea. I'm not sure where those numbers came from. Okay.
Okay. And that was, Hells was 1, Ryu was 31?
Yep. Okay. All right. Ryu towards the back of Shadow here. Not quite back, but getting there.
Back-ish.
Back-ish.
Yeah.
Almost to the boat.
In part 2.
Yep. And then
I guess I'd call this part 3 of Shadow.
Yeah.
I feel like everything before the hallway with the guillotines.
Yeah.
It's part 1, so the first 4 checks.
Sure.
Part 2 is everything up until the hook shot.
Sure.
Part 3 is everything from the hook shot to the boat.
Sure.
Part 4 is everything past the boat.
Yeah. I think that's fair. The 4 stages, and then the 5th stage is Bongo.
Is acceptance?
It's acceptance that we full cleared this seed.
Yeah. So we start with denial.
Yeah.
We're in denial that we're in Shadow. We get to anger, which
anger about doing
of not having a hook shot.
Yeah. Bargaining, please don't make me go to the boat.
Please.
I don't need ZL, right?
I don't need ZL, right?
Depression, okay, I guess I'm
fine.
through Shadow again.
And acceptance when you hit the blue warp.
When your first bow is on Bongo. The stages of grief of Shadow Temple.
Yep. I've also had depression of just I have bomb shoes and no other way to get to Bongo Bongo. And I just don't feel like it. But I will do it. But I'm not going to be happy about it.
So one of the fun things about this is it is a go mode Shadow. So if we had Fire Arrow entry on...
You are chaotic today.
You wouldn't need Dins. You wouldn't need Dins. And Free Scarecrow coming in handy. Let's go.
Knew we picked that setting for a good reason.
So good. And yes, we do still have trials before the traditional climb, Ganondorf and Ganon fights. It's Forest, Spirit, and Light. Those are pretty quick trials, but you will get a feel for them.
Forest will be fun. Spirit, there's really not much more to Spirit trial. And there's really not much more to Light trial than what you typically see in a standard randomizer seed. Because the only last thing in Spirit is just lighting the flame and opening up the light and then hitting the sun. And the only thing left in Light trial is just walking through the invisible wall.
Yep.
No, you do have to find 2 small keys, I will say. So
Yeah, you do have to find small keys. That's
it's not the freest,
yeah.
but you've got 2 checks in, or you've got 1 check in force, you've got 2 checks in light, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spirit.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 checks in light.
Yeah.
The odds of you finding the 2 keys there is pretty high. Oh yeah, somebody did 20 skulls, and if this was a qualifier,
Yeah, if this were a qual, someone finished an hour ago,
and then everyone bailed into chickens,
Yeah.
and it wasn't
chickens. And yeah, I mean that's just one of the things that you as a runner have to decide. What am I going to prioritize in this? And the 1 check won out in this. It wasn't the dungeons that had more checks. It wasn't, anywhere along the way. It was 1 check that they both decided not to do.
Yeah. We're talking about, again, 1 in 196 that it was. I mean, not technically when you really break down the statistics behind the logic, but in all reality, there's 196 items that are available. You're looking for 1. The odds that 1 is on your 20 skulls is just immeasurably low, and that's exactly where it was.
Yep.
So, Ryu though heading in, curious to see what order he does this. May start with Force, then go.
I would go Forest Spirit.
Force Spirit Light. Try to get your keys along the way.
Yep.
Oh, what the hell's it aiming?
Whoa!
So proud of you.
He only had 10 arrows.
That would do it. Again, we all are used to seeing Spirit Trial. This is nothing new if you've been watching Ocarina of Time Randomizer.
Yep. You'll be familiar with this, and then you'll see kind of the cheat around the fire arrow requirement. I don't believe Din's goes high enough to burn the web, so the intention is that it be fire arrows, I'm pretty sure.
But you can do it with a bow,
but
just with this little cheeky strat
and
coming up.
And there's a key. Yep. So you go up to this other torch, stand just far enough back that you can see that web, and shoot.
There it is.
All right.
Yeah, fun story. I think if you just sit there with your shield out,
yep,
eventually Link will get bored and will shine it on there.
Yes. Yeah. Yep, you have to be facing that room you just came from, and you're like, oh, which face was it again?
Yeah. You just go take a bathroom break and Link will shine it for you.
Yep. You're like, oh,
thanks, Link.
Thanks, Link. The one time your 10-second impatient ass is useful. The judgment I feel from this non-existent.
What is this room? There are 4 large chests in here.
There should be a wallet in here, another slingshot in here.
How many? What items are left that we haven't
bomb
seen
bag.
Yet? The 3rd slingshot?
Yeah.
Oh, Ryu, open them, please. For me?
No.
Please?
Absolutely not.
If this isn't a key, Ryu's going to have to come back here. I mean, it's something that you forget about, right?
Yeah.
In your brain, you think, I need 1 key for light trial because that's what I'm used to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because that's all we ever needed before needing to do trials. But now that we have to do trials, that's 2 keys.
It's 2 keys.
Yep. These keys are randomly shuffled within kind of the dungeon itself, so it could be anywhere.
Yep.
Same thing here. You know, Wolfos has an item, but there's still more trial behind this Wolfos.
Yep.
Have I ever done it before? Yeah, once. Once. I learned how to do it once.
Yeah, I will say I think that this is probably the hardest one to get the hang for.
Yeah. And it's mostly because of these fans coming up.
Yep. But
so if he goes right away with hovers, nice work.
Yeah, and how you go about this particular trial just depends on how comfortable you are moving quickly. They are very comfortable moving quickly, and so it's going to barely be a trial at all. Yeah.
Go, Ryu,
and
go.
then-
Come on. Come on.
Beat the fan! Beat the fan! Ah!
Yes!
Woo! Nice recovery.
I thought he was going to get
I
lasered
thought,
off there.
yeah, I definitely thought Ryu was voiding for a sec. Would have been fine, but one thing they don't need are arrow or magic refills, but almost all of these back rooms in trials have some form of magic or arrow drop.
So, again, one more key that we're missing. Water trial and then shadow trial. Make total sense here looking for that key.
Yep.
They're quick. You can peek them.
Fire trial is still useless in this case.
Thank God.
There are still no checks there.
It's the longest trial and it's the most worthless.
Oh.
Honestly, you kind of wish that you picked up Furor's Wind from there.
Yeah.
Because FW is definitely in light trial.
Mm-hmm. Did Ryu do the lullaby chest in light trial? Okay.
Yep.
Whee!
There it is.
Yay! A key. Alright. We're gonna bust out those fire arrows to get back up here. Small chests are... You can't long shot them, unfortunately.
Such a
little
hard
too
snipe.
high, I think.
Yeah. He's fine. He's got plenty of arrows.
Yeah.
Nice
Leaning
shot.
in, trying to see it. Yep.
There it is.
Whee!
And you just void out and go right back to light trial. So, Ryu definitely demonstrating how excellent he is, just execution-wise, routing-wise. Again, rather unfortunate that kind of they both last locationed Din's Fire.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I always forget that this part exists. I was just thinking you just do the wall, but then you've got this whole shabacle.
Yep.
There you go. Nice work. And then the camera,
Camera, please.
and now through the invisible wall. Nice and easy.
And the barrier is dispelled.
Woohoo! No, Ryu taking the long walk back up. It's not the most fast or convenient to go from light trial up.
No.
Could be worse, but
But at least we get to the usual part, you know? We've got our climb.
yeah. And now we're back to our regularly scheduled Ganon's Tower. A little detour there with trials, not something that we see very often. But I think it's one of the joys of S7 is that we get to see things that we don't get to see very often in the standard tournament.
Yep. Take advantage of some of those rooms, those, trials, pieces that we don't get to see a whole lot.
Yeah, it's fun. I think we both just leaned in there for a
I know.
second. We're like, hold on, what is that one saying?
If you remove FPA time, you remove 6 minutes. Yeah?
That's not
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Still sub 30, 330.
Yeah. I think Ryu will anyway.
I still remember it was the match between What the Hells and Marco. I think it was season 2. It went like 4 hours and 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm just like, okay, if you are hitting 4 hours, something went wrong.
Something went wrong.
Something went wrong. All right, but I do hope we get to see what the hell's do a little bit of trials.
Yeah, we should be able to see him get through at least Forest if he goes there first.
Yeah, I think what the hell is something that he is strong at is he was a speedrunner before he was a rando player. So his execution and his ability to execute in trials is exceptional. Season 4 hours.
Every seed can sub 4.
Oh, thank God. And again, if you're playing against me and you turn off chest appearance matches content, I will come for you. If you elect to add 15 to 30 minutes onto my seed, we'll burn down your place of establishment.
It won't happen. It won't happen. All right, and that is Dorf down. And Hell's gonna get through Forest Trial for sure.
Yep, nice and clean. Except for that laser.
See, Chuckles will pick it just so you have to go visit him.
Swear to God. It's just
unpleasant.
And I like that word. It's unpleasant.
Hell's with 6 arrows to his name.
But usually the pots next to that have like magic and arrows.
Yep.
The devs knew that you would be showing up there, go to pull out your bow and go, shit.
Well, dang.
Hot diddly darn.
Hot diddly darn. All right. All right. Phase 1 of Ganon done.
Yep. What the hell's here? Showing us no bomb juice, but he's going to use this strat to basically extend his range of the bow there, so that way he can shoot through walls. One of the few tricks that is allowed.
Yep. Bow extension, hook extension, a couple other smattering here and there.
I will say there's an asterisk to that statement. So, like, for example, using your hookshot and hookshot extension. Did what the hell's just...
He did the wrong... Yeah, moved a little too fast, I think.
I was sitting here talking about hookshot extension across Gerudo Valley, and I was just like, all of a sudden I see these hands running around.
Yeah, so that's what happens when you burn the wrong sun. And yeah, get your GGs in chat. RyuuKane gonna take this exhibition match.
Yo, GG's. It just proceeds to delete it.
Shut. Oh, should have.
Should have done skulls.
Oh, should have played. What? What is happening?
Oh, Lies of P. Isn't it the new game that came out?
Oh.
Should have played Lies of P instead.
Oh. Oh, F's in chat.
Oh. I don't disagree with you, though.
I mean, you know.
To be honest with you, I've never, Oh, there's Ryu with the raid.
Yay, welcome in, Ryu. GG's.
GG's. How was?
Yeah, I was like,
how was that?
yeah.
I think we got a little bit of insight, but you know. No, I think that was an exciting. You know, regardless of how the ending went down,
Mhm.
I think that was an exceptional race.
Yeah, actually, a very solid showcase race.
Yeah. So I think what the hell is officially calling it. Knows that he at this point could finish it if he wanted to, but still about another 5 to 6 minutes away, and just is like, you know what, I'm good. I really want him to show us what is in light trial.
Yeah, right. Just go into light trial for us.
4 major chests in there. So hopefully, I mean, I know that we've been here for a few hours. I would not forgive the runners if they don't want to join for an interview.
I also won't forgive them if they won't join for. No, I'm kidding. Do not feel like you have to join, of course.
I would not I would not be disappointed if they chose not to interview. Whatever. Just say that, like, I accept you not wanting to do an interview because you want to go take a snack or go to the bathroom.
We got Ryu. GG's.
Hell yeah.
Yo, thank you.
How we doing, buddy?
Yeah. How we doing?
Feels like being debated for over an hour because of a freaking bow path, I guess.
Yeah. So, you both ended up doing AD. You both ended up kind of full clearing everything before doing 20 skulls. The big difference was you ended up clearing out all of fire and doing hammer chest before leaving fire, and that's where Hells ended up losing time back to you and you pulled ahead.
Wait, really? He went back to fire even though...
Yeah, he went.
I guess when you're in casino, you want to do some stuff like this.
Yeah.
I guess.
What the hells?
What's up?
GG's.
Yo,
man.
GG's.
When I think the other thing that contributed at the end there is that What the Hells had 12 skulls walking into his last checks, whereas you had 18. And so there's a little bit of a difference of push of, like, do I spend all this time getting 8 skulls for possibly 1 check versus 2? Again, I'm speaking for you as the runners, so I'd love to hear your insight on that, but at least that's how it appeared from a viewer's perspective.
For me, when I had like 11, and at that point it was basically, okay, I just need Din, so I usually don't skip 20 like that, but I just was like, okay, there's so much I can do. Like, even though like I could get a few, well, then if you get a few, you're like at 14, so.
Yeah, pretty much the same. I went to Forest with 13, I think, and I committed to getting all 5 scores because at that point I didn't know if I needed another strength or not for trials. It was basically a 50-50 being Din's Fire from Go or something else. So I just went for the scores, like, as a last resort, like just in case. But then I got the long shot and I was like, okay, I'm actually only Din's Fire and Strength 3 from Go mode. Like, for sure.
Right, and you did have Shadow Path to Tower, so...
I got that afterwards, yeah. So at that point I was like, okay, I'm not committing to scores anymore.
Yeah, so let's talk about the, like, thought process you had going into your draft. The settings you picked, how do you feel about them?
I actually like the trials pick. It was a bit of an experiment from my part, because if I roll the probabilities correctly with 3 trials, for sure, there's like more than 50% chance that strength 3 is required, and that means that you're gonna have to full clear pretty much more seeds than normal. So that means that doing some crazy checks could be rewarded. Like, it's not as punishable as the standard from before.
All right, I see that. So, like, including more items that could possibly be in the pool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. How about you, What the Hells?
My brain is just in SGL settings right now, so I just picked the closest to that. I don't have any.
We did talk about that a little.
Yeah, I don't have any crazy strategy. I was just like, yeah, there's free Scarecrow in SGL, and Open Fountain doesn't do much, so I'm picking that.
Yeah. I think a follow-up question on that is not necessarily with this race, but what is one setting that you're excited to play? And what's one setting that you're like, I am banning this setting?
I am banning keys every freaking race.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What is
It's
keys
fair.
again? It's key rings and Keysy?
Yeah.
It's with small keysy and big keysy. Like no keys at all.
Yeah.
Only
that
keys
was-
you're gonna get are the gel from Guild of Fortress and the CMG ones. Like I'm never doing that.
Wait, chess minigame too?
Nah, chess minigames have the keys.
Oh, okay. Oh my god, you scared me.
But like that's the only keys you're gonna get.
Easy chess minigame. It is a setting. It's an option.
Yeah.
What are you excited to play though? Ryu?
Yeah, I kind of like the trial stuff, and I also like required only.
Okay. Yep.
'Cause
We saw a lot
pretty
of
much-
required only in chat.
Yeah, pretty much something that that screws the logic more than before. Which
Sure.
is why I also picked random warps.
Yeah. Yeah, the warps weren't too crazy today, but they could definitely be wild.
There were some cool times as well. Like the
Yeah.
the warp to river was quite nice actually.
Yeah, and you put that to great use. How about you? What the hell is setting that you're excited to play? Setting that you're definitely banning?
I don't know. Wait, I want to ban probably Overworld Skulls because I think it adds too much variance. Like the fact that,
Sure.
like you do, let's say you do your whole route and then you find a bottle late, then you
Mhm.
kind of have to redo everything. And if it's a 1v1, like sometimes there's no optimal way to do it. So you'll
Yeah.
just have like these things are going to be done in a random order. And then like sometimes one player is going to get advantage over another. Same with Sunsong and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So I think, I mean, I don't really like keys either. Those are probably the two that how many bans can we have?
Buddy,
No.
you only get one ban.
You get
Yeah,
one
shit.
ban. One.
No, the rest I think are fine. I guess. Yeah.
You guess.
I mean, I might pick random spawns. I'm down to go back to that. That's always fun.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's fun.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well, thank you both. Oh,
Spawns is minor, right?
Yeah.
Dang, I can't ban that.
No, you got to go random spawns, man.
Nah,
Just
I'm
throw,
good with
throw in the
vanilla spawns.
chaos.
I'm good with safe warping to get to cannons.
sure.
So then you picked random warps, and then we don't know where we're going whenever we.
Yeah, but I don't care. I still have my safe warp at tot. That's the thing. I still get my one warp that I want.
Oh, imagine
like
that as
having a
counter
warp.
pick.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
And then we can
Somebody
enjoy
pick
the prelude hard required for Colossus access.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Oh, what were you going to say, though?
Oh, I was just going to thank them for putting on such a great race.
Yeah, this was awesome.
Yeah, hope you guys had fun. The second half, I was definitely struggling and contemplating many decisions in my life, but like the
Every
beginning
life
was cool.
decision. Just
Yeah,
how am I here?
I hope people enjoyed, and I hope people are gonna enjoy season 7.
Yeah, we were talking about what ways you could intentionally crash the game. And be like, oh darn, I
Oh,
guess I have to
no.
forfeit.
Yeah, and then it happened.
And then it happened. Oh.
No, that's when
I
you
only
still had
lost
hope.
A minute. I lost like nothing. That was the thing. That was crazy that I saved right
Literally
before.
nothing.
Yeah, no, that was good.
If only I saved in water, that would have been like, all right, we're losing like a minute.
Yeah, if that. All right, y'all. Well, Ryu, congratulations on the win. What the hells? You put up an awesome fight, and both of
Oh,
you
you're so
made an
polite. Thank you.
incredible
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Such a nice guy, Doc.
Okay, fine. You lost, all right? But
Go have a shower, beer, get over it. It's fine.
Oh, hell yeah.
I drank a high noon for you.
Thanks. I
But
appreciate
in
it.
either case, it was an exceptional exhibition match, and I'm very excited to see what happens throughout season 7 coming up here in November. I mean, just like right around the corner.
Whoop, whoop. All right. Tobias, are you around?
Yes, I am.
Hell yeah! Take us
All
home.
right. Absolutely. So, first of all, again, also from the Zelda Speedrun side, thank you all for watching, everyone. Thank you to Ryu and What the Hell's for putting on an amazing showcase race for us. Certainly got me hyped for season 7. Also, the banter during your picks and bans was already legendary. Looking forward to much more of that during season 7. What was it? What was it? What you said? What the hell's? As soon as Ryu had picked trials, it was come on. I got stuff to do after this.
Yeah, like, do you know what time it is now? It's 5:30, and I'm still at home, and I'm still like, come on.
And we have a hockey game to go to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're heading out to a hockey game.
Indeed.
God.
And so to not keep you from that any longer, all I have to say is thank you to Ryu What the Hells, thank you to Melqui and Doc Heaps on commentary, and thank you to our amazing trackers Xinja and Baseball for making this restream possible. Thank you to you all for watching. There's a bunch more on the Zelda Speedrun schedule for this week, so I encourage you to check that out. And the next few races on the schedule are 2 Wind Waker randomizer races starting at 11 p.m. and midnight UTC, which is 7 and 8 p.m. Eastern on ZSR and ZSR4, and on at midnight 30 UTC, that is 8:30 Eastern, is a Link to the Past randomizer cross keys tournament race on the schedule. And again, a bunch more races on the schedule for Sunday. Check it out. In the meantime, though, we'll see you soon on Zelda Speedruns. Hope you got hyped for Season 7, and yeah, see you around.
Take care, y'all.